your personal sense of fashion. Wow.
Oh, thank
No,
you.
that's what he was saying.
Three, two, one.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We have been off for a little bit for the holidays, but we are back tonight. We're going to be back for tonight, the 11th and the 18th, and then we're going to be off for Christmas for a week. But until then, we hope to get in a couple more Prismatic Dragonfly adventures. We're short a couple cast members still, but we're going to have some guest stars joining us here pretty soon to fill in the spots while we have a couple people out for the holidays, but we hope that they will be rejoining us really soon. Other than that, I don't think we have any special announcements tonight or anything mythical family-wise. Just if you're somebody that's finding us for the first time, welcome. If you're finding us on YouTube, welcome. Glad that you're finding us on YouTube, and hopefully you can check out some of our shorts and past episodes, but make sure that to come check us out on Twitch, and you can find our Twitch chat there and actually interact with us. And on the breaks, for instance, we leave the mics on and just like talking to anybody that's hanging out. So please come hang out if you're finding us on YouTube or somewhere else. If you're just showing up for the first time, regardless of where you're coming from, please follow us on the different socials that we have, especially Discord, because we have a pretty active Discord community that we'd love you to be a part of. And yeah, if you're one of our regulars returning, glad to see you again and hope that you're having a great weekend. So we're going to go ahead and jump in tonight and get going. So, last time we left, right before our 1 week break for Thanksgiving, we had a bit of a cool down episode, I suppose, from political assassination. Attempted political assassination? Successful? No one knows.
No
one knows.
Which part of the record we're on?
So obviously successful.
There was a big ball of fire that lasted until you guys left, and who knows if that thing's still going to this day, so we'll have to see. But there was a political attempt, at least, an attempt at political assassination. So, our ragtag group, Hora, as they have been called so far, to some group members' dismay, they escaped on a speedy ship captained by a woman named Sykes and her very skilled crew of smugglers, and they were able to spend a little bit on the waters, taking a kind of roundabout path back to where they were just a couple days ago, the city of Orishire, in case they were being followed, but there was no sign of that in the end. They made it back to Orishire safely, taking a few moments on the ship to have some needed conversations about teamwork. And there were some attempts from Sonny to try and contact her gods by keel hauling herself, which is just, a normal thing that some people do. Mm-hmm. And still no.
It helps to have gills.
Yep, it does. But no sign or no spark of the gods yet for Sonny. They made it back to Orishire. They were able to talk to the guard captain Kovita after waking her in the middle of the night and possibly sacrificing some of her newest recruits to wake her in the middle of the night, and report the fact that the target that they were sent after was probably dispatched. It's all very loosey-goosey on, who actually told them to kill them, and, you know how it is. But they made it back. They completed telling everybody about what they had done and settled in for the night. And the last thing that we saw was Sonny going to Matilda's Emporium to hopefully say hi to Matilda and kind of tell her about the last couple days of adventures and possibly follow up on some recent conversations before the group had left. But Sonny found the Emporium completely empty and cleaned out. And that's where we left off last time, in the middle of the night. I think it was just around 11.
2 or 3 in the morning, I think.
Yeah.
You got there like 11 midnight, and then I think we left off at like 3 in the morning, kind of thing. Vander and Skalea were in the kitchen of the guards' keep, making rum cake together. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up the next morning, for the most part. Sonny, you had left the Emporium, and I believe the last thing that you had said last time was something along the lines of that Sonny was going to go spend some time drinking before heading back.
Yeah, like, everyone else needs to rest, and I need to think about this shit, so...
Okay.
It's very much the thought process there.
Okay, so she just went out for a couple drinks, and then would make her way back to the keep and probably to the old room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're walking back, one really quick thing. So as you eventually have to walk onto the docks, where the long dock that goes out to the small little man-made island where the guards keep is, roll a perception, just a general perception check for me.
Alright. That's a 5.
A 5?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary. The city seems like it's the one that you left 2 days ago in every aspect. It does seem like there are more people out tonight than you're used to, but not in a way that you should take note of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see that the stand that you purchased the stuffed versions of yourselves from is still there. It's closed and boarded up for the night, but it is still there near the guards keep. So you can make your way back. And you'll find one of the guards that is kind of stationed near the diplomatic quarters that will easily show you to the room, so you can have pretty much the same room that you had last time, and spend the night. And then Vander, once you and Scalea were done with the rum cakes, there are plenty of quarters down where you guys had stayed the first time. Kovita would have come up at some point and checked on you in the kitchen. Probably left you to your own devices for the most part. She would seem somewhat suspicious about Scalea, though, and like who she is, because she wasn't really introduced or anything like that. She was just like riding in your arms, actually, because you were princess carrying her, and just kind of being a gremlin for some reason with you. And yeah, so Kovita like swings by at one point, like peeks her head in, just checks on you, make sure you're doing okay. Her gaze lingers on Sick for a little while, but she eventually kind of just yawns and goes back to bed because she doesn't know who the strange elf is. But considering that she's with you, and you seem like you're okay, she's not going to question it too much. So
I am okay.
yes. So you two can finish making rum cakes. I forget who you were making them for. Were you just making them for yourself?
Making it for all the guard, everyone.
Okay.
Kovita, yeah.
Specifically Kovita. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Specifically for Kovita, and then we're making plenty for everyone.
Yeah, so the two of you were powering through like a lot of them. Okay. So, actually, if you're doing that much, you two might have actually stayed up most of the night then, baking. So by the time breakfast comes around, everybody that wants to have it can have rum cake. So,
Good breakfast.
yes, you two are going to be somewhat tired because you never went to bed and you stayed up all night baking in the kitchen. But you have a veritable swarm of rum cakes and small variations on them: dark rum, light rum, spiced, raisins, nuts, all the different varieties. And as dawn starts to appear over Orishire, the smell of rum cake fills the guards keep at this point, as it's slowly been spreading all night. And I think we'll actually start there with you and Sick in the kind of main room of the keep that you've been in a couple times, with like the large half-crescent moon meeting table that's also used for mess and other purposes. And it is just loaded with rum cakes all the way around. Yeah. And flumped in the seat next to you in one of the chairs is a very tired elf who is practically covered head to toe in flour, who is still wearing the like loose-fitting sailor clothes, and she looks tired but incredibly proud of what you two have done. So you two just kind of finished putting all the rum cakes down, and at this point the guards have started to like they took note when you guys started bringing them down. They waited for you to finish, and now the guards have kind of been coming in and being like, hey, can we eat? And there's about 10, 12 of them right now that are dishing themselves up, and there's more on their way. And it's at that time that you see Kovita appear kind of at the top of one of the staircases, this time not in her night robe, wearing full armor, and her hair's done up into the like typical kind of silvery gray bun, and she seems like she actually got a good night sleep for once, or she's just happy that there's so much rum cake, because as soon as you see her, her face bursts into a smile. You get like a wry little smile, but it's the most you've ever seen on Kovita. So, and she'll go ahead and descend the staircase and kind of mix in with her guards and start talking to them, and take a look at all the different rum cakes and see what she's gonna get.
Kovita.
She takes a slice of the first one that she's in front of, which is one of 6. It has pistachios on the top of it. And she's going to take a mouthful of it and walk on over. Yes?
I made this one special for you. He's gonna like reach under like one of the death like tables and pull out an entire one.
What is special about it?
It's a rum cake medley. There's everything in it.
Does it have illegal substances in it?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
It's just a lot of alcohol.
That is legal. So it's not long as it does not have forgive me, I know some, but not all monks partake of psychedelics. I did not know if that was
Not me.
you don't keep that kind of tea on you,
Well, I do. If you want it.
but not for baking.
No, not for baking.
All right. Well, thank you. I did not expect there to be this many when I awoke, but you and your friend seem to have. Did you spend all night baking?
Yes.
Well, thank you. I am going to have enough rum cake to sate my desire for a very long time, and the men and women of the keep will be very happy to have something other than oatmeal for breakfast.
Of course.
Are you two all right? Do you need to sleep after all that?
Probably a nice nap. Because we napped all night and afternoon on the boat.
Time's kind of meaningless at this point. Sick wiggles a hand.
Fair enough. She probably definitely does.
I mean, most of us meditate for a couple hours. I kind of have drifted away from that practice, I would say, and I like actually trying to sleep, even if I only get 5 or 6 hours of it. So yes, I would really prefer if I could go lay down
It's
somewhere.
Sleeping is nice.
Sleeping is nice, and honestly, meditating isn't everything that the elves and other races and people in general. In case I don't know if you do that a lot as a monk. That's also probably another monk stereotype.
Well, it's good for our practice, but it's not something we do to sleep.
Yo, so you're not restored from it the way that we are when we do it. Okay. It's great in a pinch. Like, only needing 4 hours of downtime is great for a lot of reasons, but when you've been at it for a while, just lounging around in bed is kind of nice. So, where are we going to sleep?
We have a room.
It is not his. They've been using the diplomatic quarters, and if you'd like to use the diplomatic quarters, you can.
Oh yeah, this is Sid.
She's sick with what?
No, her name is Sid.
Oh, pleasure to meet. Where did you pick her up? Is she one of your party that I never met before? Is she new,
We
or?
picked her up over at the Hayden's Night.
Not the best explanation.
Roll a perception check.
She's the granddaughter of the Haven Snap.
4. Oof. Great rolls to start the night. I love it.
Yeah, she saved my life and our friends. She helped us get out, and in return, I brought her with us because she was also in danger. She could have died.
I was a visiting diplomat. I'm not one of the Havens now, so that's what you're worried about. And you see Kovita, like, take another bite of the rum cake, chew way too long on it, and is kind of just staring daggers at her, looking her up and down.
Oblivious.
Yeah, no, you're completely oblivious to the intensity of it, but that is what she's doing, is just spending an awkward amount of time looking at Sick. All right, so you vouch for her then? She's not a spy or something?
Definitely not.
All right. Well, we don't have any diplomats visiting in the 2 days since you've been gone, so all of the rooms that you used last time were open and then some, so take whatever you like. I know that Cass took one. Well, you were here. Cass took one last night, and I assume that Sony did at some point as well. And Half Pint and Gaspard, I saw them. They were making a bit of ruckus in the yard last night. Well, not a ruckus per se, but they were out practicing in the range with crossbows. So I assume they eventually took rooms as well.
I hope.
You all tend to figure it out, even if you don't speak in bed, apparently. So, little too much rum cake there, dear.
little too much in this one.
You tried the one that I made with the elvish whiskey.
Yes.
Oh, I told you that was strong. Okay.
I don't know how to drink, apparently.
I know, which I had to do that because you were in the middle of
Good.
the same. Well, is there anything that you need from me or my men today? I assume it is a day of rest for you all, but...
Pretty much, yeah. You don't, I don't think we need it.
Well, I am going to grab a couple slices of the one that you made for me, and then I'm off to meet with the Orishile Council again to fully inform them of what happened with the Haven Stouts. I gave them a brief update through Scroll last night, but they're demanding more details, and the news is quickly spreading around the world of... They are calling it an assassination attempt, but most people tend to call it an assassination at this point. There's no proof that the Orishire survived as far as our reliable sources can tell.
Haven's notes, but
Say what?
Haven's notes.
What did I say, Orishire?
Orishire.
God damn it. Haven.
Whoops.
DM's brain.
We just killed the entire
Yes, you did. You did. Our reliable sources, though, think that they were successfully assassinated.
Well, let's hope you're right.
I suppose at this point, hopefully that means I'm never one, as I told you all before you left, to celebrate the loss of life. But if there's any life that I would celebrate, it's someone horrible like that that has caused unimaginable harm to such a large amount of people, including myself. So hopefully no more hags will be driven into our cities, and hopefully no more plots will be hatched from that line, at
True.
least. Though there is still the loose ends that you were telling me about last night. So I will speak to the council and see if Orishire's involvement ends here, or if what they want to do, which I can never predict. So, as always, you're welcome to stay, including your grungy friend. And she's smiling, the biggest smile in her flower-covered pirate clothes self. And she just none of the insults are landing. So she seems like she's just loving this. But I will be on my way now. And she reaches over and, like, picks up a knife and goes to cut the cake. And, like, looks at her slice. Just take the cake. She stabs the rest of it, puts it in her mouth, takes it, and then just walks out. And at this point, there's a stream of guards coming in. There's probably about 30 in the room now, and like conversation is just kind of building up around you. The rumble and din of so many people talking and stuff, and everybody is definitely enjoying them and passing them around. And it seems like every rum cake that you made, somebody has taken at least one or two slices out of at this point. So have you ever considered like opening a bakery instead of being an adventurer?
Well, it would be nice.
Or tea shop. It'd be tea shop and bakery. Seems like a plan, like a retirement plan at least, if that's something that you want to do.
That would be nice.
Have you ever considered it?
I've considered similar lines, but at least not until my mom vanished, I suppose. I think when I find her and figure out what's going on there, if she needs help.
Maybe more of a chance to settle down.
I definitely want to help Treetop figure that out. Make sure it's okay.
I mean, it's hard. It's kind of wishful thinking, to be honest. There's a million different things that I thought I was going to do, and then it's deal with threat, and I'll do something after that, and another threat comes, and another thing pops up, and it just spirals out of control until you're 200 plus years old. And yeah, so I hope you get the chance. Because a tea shop, the world needs more calm, idyllic places like a tea shop that serves amazing rum cake. Because I don't think we have one in... Oh, there's one tea shop in Arlia, and it's... So, we need more places like that.
When I visit, I'll give them a good talking to about what they should be doing better.
I would pay so much money to see that, because it's a tea shop ran by dwarves, and they are the most cantankerous dwarves ever. In the... Oh, what's a good way to describe it? Grandparent way? Where they're cantankerous, and you can't tell them that the way that they're brewing certain teas, like they ruin many of the teas, in my opinion, and that's why I don't go there. But they just care a lot, and they want to fuss over their customers, and they think they know what they're. It's hard to describe. I would love to see that. I think you might be able to get through to them, Vander. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
Whenever you decide to go back home, I'll give you some tea to.
To be honest, I'm kind of avoiding that right now. If one of us would have told Kobita my full name or who I was, I'm sure she would have treated me far differently, and we would be dealing with her freaking out and treating me like a diplomat. And that's really what I'm so tired of it. I just don't want that right now after everything. And that's why I'm happy to be covered in flour and in disguise, as far as I'm concerned. Because the second anybody figures out who I am, I have to put all that armor back on, and I have to act like an adult.
I think you're wonderful as who you are.
Why, thank you. I'm pretty happy with who I am at this point in my life. Not perfect by any means, but I like who I am, and that just comes with certain riders, like a lot of responsibility sometimes. And it's nice to take a break from that when you can. But I'm sure there is a slew of people who are, for lack of more imaginative term, shitting themselves that they haven't heard from me since the fight. Yeah. And I do feel slightly bad about that, because my best friends, Aaron and Reniger, are probably already trying to make some sort of a search party, and probably have already paid some adventurers in the region to try and find me. So I really should send them a scrying message, but I just wanted a day or two where I didn't have to.
There's no rush, I think.
No, there's no rush. They know that I can handle myself, and if I had died or anything serious happened, news would have spread fast about that. So I think I'm fine to play it low-key for maybe another day or something like that. But soon people are going to figure out, and the armor's going to have to go back on. But for now, it doesn't. So
enjoy the luster of being covered in flour.
I will. It's amazing. And it kind of does I don't know what that was, but some of it does sparkle a bit. But that could be the sugar, or just the glitter that we got into at one point up there, like that refined sugar or whatever that was. It's just, I kind of lost track of everything. But I do think I need some sleep, or at least meditate for a little bit. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I want to go see our friends before I sleep like that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how their night went after everything that's been going on. So
I can show you to the lost things, and then...
Yeah, please. Yeah, if you show me where I can crash, and you can go check on them, and I'm sure I will hear any tasty tidbits of drama or things that have developed in just a little bit after I take a breather. Okay. So you're going to take her out to the diplomatic quarters then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you notice that only 2 of them are occupied, because they tend to leave the doors open when nobody's in there, unless there's severe weather or something like that. And the windows are open, the blinds are up and stuff like that. So you see 2 of them that are closed, nothing else so far. So Sick will just take one of the ones that's open nearby next to one of the closed ones and go in and jump into the bed, leaving a cloud of flour behind. And at some point, of course, when you guys left the keep, she probably would have grabbed, you both probably would have grabbed, like, the armor that was wrapped up in the stuff that you brought from the ship. But you can leave her there to get some sleep, and then about that time, I would say these 2 are waking up, or at least for the past 30 minutes or so, because they made it back to their rooms.
Oh, so like to sleep anyway.
Oh, well, yes.
I had a very nice 5-hour meditation.
Good.
I've been up for a while. I'm just like sharpening my battle axe. It's
Oh,
great. Doing
okay.
some routine maintenance.
Okay. Well, are you in the room, or did you see them, like, walk up?
I would have seen them walk up and
Okay.
crack the door open. How was your evening?
Oh, hi. It was pretty good. I made a lot of cake. I even brought you some, and you'll take out like a little box.
Oh my gosh, where did you find an adorable box?
Maybe. This is folded paper.
Vander, you're way too like sweet for this world.
He wipes away a little tear. His flour and stuff.
I think this is the breakfast of heroes for sure.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring you some.
Thanks.
I'm gonna go check in with Sonny if you want to come.
Sure. Yeah. Are we sure Sonny's there, or didn't have like some wild reunion with Matilda?
Well, we'll find out.
All right.
Sonny's at the door like way too fast. Like clearly was not in bed.
Completely like kitted out.
Yeah. You're awake. Good.
Good morning. How about you this? Okay.
Thank you. Just takes it, just kind of sets it aside for now.
You
Are
okay?
you alright?
I'm okay. Are you okay? You seem distressed.
It's a word for it.
What's up?
I don't know where to start. Is Kavita around or? Ask her some questions.
I think she's eating with her guards.
Yeah.
Or either that or talking with the diplomat lady thing.
She's with the council. I'll have to wait till later. The Emporium's empty.
Empty customers or
Anything.
Oh,
Was there like a note?
Oh no. Sonny just kind of sits down at like the little table in the diplomat room. It's like, I went back, tried to see if she was there, and obviously it was locked up and nobody was answering, so I let myself in through the window, and there was just nothing. It was gone, all of it.
Do you have any idea why? Like last time you talked to her, did she indicate like traveling or something?
No, it might have something to do with what we talked about, but it wasn't like she said she was going to go anywhere. She just needed to think about it. I'm going to investigate.
was there any sign of like a struggle or if someone broke in? Or did it seem completely just still?
Her wards were gone. Burned out. I don't know if something set them off or she just ripped them down in a hurry, but there was an impression of them, but they were gone.
We could probably figure out if it was her that turned them off or if it was someone else
Well,
by looking for her magic trace.
Yeah, I
Could you do
tried.
that?
I tried looking, and the only thing I could sense was one of her spears,
Okay, that sounds like an altercation.
or maybe she was planning.
Weird if there was like an altercation, she's been like kidnapped or something, but they also then cleared out everything.
It's. She told me before her wards can take the shop on her home somewhere else.
Maybe it did that.
Maybe I just don't know how or why, and there's no note. And if she was planning to do it, I don't know why she wouldn't have left something for us to find. She knew we were coming back, and fucked this up.
We could ask Gaspard to send us in this phone.
I was waiting until everyone was awake, but there's. I think I have some idea what is going on. I just don't know how bad it is.
What do you mean?
I had a vision, and some of the things I saw and we talked about before, either she's in danger or she's going after someone who was a danger to her and her people. I don't know which.
Who were the people, you know?
She was an entertainer in a fake court.
Oh yeah, let's try and get Gaspard to send a message, or we could find a wizard or someone who can spy for us.
Try.
No panicking until there's a reason to panic.
There's a lot of reasons, but just
Have you tried meditation? It does wonders.
I've been trying. It's not working like it's supposed to.
Have you had any connection with your god? I know you were struggling with that. Though.
No, it's still not.
Isn't that the box you got?
Don't mess with that. It's just sitting over there for now.
Because I think we should go to Gaspar and see if they can send him stuff.
Where is Gaspard? I haven't seen them since I got back.
Last I heard, they like in the morning they were in the courtyard shooting arrows.
I don't think I saw them.
Maybe they went back to their room or something.
There were only a couple rooms being used when I came in.
Yeah, I only saw y'all the two doors being used, other than now sick.
Where did those two go? See, I didn't give them the lecture. Should have given them the lecture. Let's go try and find. Maybe they've wandered into the keep.
See if I can find them, and I can tell you what. I'll tell you more if it's that will work.
It'll be okay.
And slung over her shoulder, I walk into the keep,
Okay.
and I try and find my two favorite guards.
Okay. Your two favorite guards.
I've adopted them.
All right, so you all walk across the grounds of the Orshire Guard Keep. Everybody is still kind of waking up in the city, but the guards have been up for a couple hours, and it's just the bustling activity that you're kind of used to at this point. Different shifts changing out, coming in and out of the keep. A lot of activity in the training grounds, and people streaming in and out of the keep itself with plates of rum cake. So you make it back inside very easily. No sign of those two guards from last night yet, anyways. No sign of Kovita, just a lot of people eating rum cake, and the two of you get to see the vast amount of food that is inside that kind of matches what you had been delivered in the box.
I'll just walk up to someone then. Be like,
Okay.
Hey, have you seen Clockwork with the blue mohawk?
Has anyone seen Half Pint or Gaspard? Awesome duo. They cause chaos. We love them.
Roll a performance check for me. Just a way, just like seeing if your voice is booming and that kind of stuff. It's, yeah. God!
That's nice.
Your voice just kind of gets lost in the din and stuff like that. And like a couple people look over at you and they're as in the middle of eating. You know, you don't recognize any of the faces in here right now.
I'm gonna grab like a giant serving spoon, stand up on a table, and bang it against my axe.
You quickly get the entire room's attention. And some of the older looking guards stare daggers in your general direction, especially as they like note the battle axe, but there's enough recognition in the room that they're not going to try and jump you or anything, but it quickly falls silent.
Thank you. Hey, we just wanted to see. We're looking for the other members of our party, Half Pint and Gaspard. And does anyone know where they are? Has anyone seen them recently?
They left a couple hours ago. One of the older guards speaks up that you haven't seen before, but older man, giant silver mutton chops, half out of his armor with just like a very nice tunic, and he still's got the legs, and he's taking the pauldrons off over in a corner. And he goes, they left a couple hours ago.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the cake. Have a good breakfast.
The din quickly resumes after that.
So we keep an eye out for them, but maybe we try and go find a wizard.
Yeah. I hope you all like the rum cake. I worked very hard on it.
You get a resounding cheer that goes around, and a lot of happy faces smiling and waving at you as they are stuffing said faces. So it seems like it was a pretty big success.
Oh. Vander's very happy. He's touched. Oh my god. A lot of happy face.
Wrong button. Yes.
Would we know where to go to find a wizard?
For what purpose?
For strong purposes.
Not in this city in particular. Like, you all kind of have a vague idea that in most cities, there will be some sort of magic user somewhere, often running a business that provides such services. You don't know where there's one in Orishire, I don't think.
I'm silly. Let's go see Sick. She's sending. She's talking about it all morning.
You said she's resting?
She's resting, but...
How much of the rum did you sample in the making of said cake?
I would prefer it not to disclose.
That takes a piece of that elven whiskey you want.
Mm-hmm.
This could have more flavor in it. It's a little weak. No, I mean it's good. Just
Oh, you mean alcohol?
yeah, it could have been stronger.
Yeah, you have a very strong tolerance, but I made one for Kavita, and it's very, very pungent. I used most of it now.
I have like 60 years of drinking under my belt.
Right, you're the youngest of the elves, or the youngest of the not human.
So much drinking.
A bit, yes.
Mr. Baby.
I am still older than you.
How old do you think I am?
I thought you said you were like 60 or something.
He, out of character, he is middle-aged.
Oh, okay.
You have to find this child!
Out of nowhere. Have find this child.
Just hit adulthood.
Fair. I will not.
I think that's what I was thinking.
I will not argue with my elder.
I love you.
This is the true tip of the party.
Hey, I could go see Sid.
Yeah.
Sending.
Let's rest first. Ask her when she wakes up.
Okay, we can go find Gaspard and anything, just to
Mhm.
make sure they're okay.
Maybe they went out for a very well-deserved morning drink.
Wouldn't be the first one here.
Wait, were you morning drinking?
Earlier. Thought everyone was asleep, so.
It's okay.
I think at that point it's still nighttime. It's just, you hadn't gone to bed. Totally acceptable.
It's
Still haven't, honestly.
Oh. I'll give you some of my specialty later, you know.
It's alright, I don't feel tired.
I understand. Arnold?
So where are you going?
We're gonna wander and try and find. Right.
Our little nerds.
Okay, well, you're in the city of Orishire. Where are you going?
Where did you and Gaspard go drinking?
Wait, start wherever that was.
Okay. Well, thankfully you didn't bar hop that night, but you did go to you two kind of like walked around and were looking for the first place that popped up that didn't seem familiar, and you found a small little pub called the Groundhog. And it was dingy, dimly lit, but the drinks were amazing, and it was pretty near the guard's keep. So you just went in there and spent the night talking and drinking, and it was wonderful. So, and you think you could probably find your way back there.
Let's do that.
Okay. So you'll wander down the long dock back to the city. Once you get to the city, instead of going down the docks to the left, like towards Matilda's area, you'll just go straight into kind of the residential area and make a perception check.
Oh boy, I'm drunk.
All of us, so.
No, just that one.
Okay, that's better actually.
What is it? Is it a 6?
It's a 13.
A 13. Okay. You are able to pick out enough landmarks from that night to kind of weave your way through the houses and stuff, and eventually you turn into an alley, and at the end of it is a very brightly lit door that kind of leads down into the ground, but it's got a wonderful sign over it that's lit up, and you smell a lot of smoke, different kinds of tobacco, it seems, that have been being burned, and you kind of remember that was the smell that you had to get over when you originally found the place. But it seems like it's open as far as you can tell, so you guys can go ahead and head in if you'd like. Okay. As you wander down the stairs into the groundhog, it is very smoky, with kind of a layer just hanging up on the ceiling. There's really not anybody. There's like 2 people passed out over in a booth that seems like they could have been there for a long time, and there's a very tired-looking barkeep that is up at the counter just kind of polishing glasses, and there's nobody else in here right now. So it's probably their slow time.
I mean, it is early morning right now. It's like, what, 8 or 9?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's about 8 right now, so.
Go up to the barkeep.
Okay. So the barkeep is a rather large, you think, just orc, that is wearing kind of a multicolored wrapped robe, and even though the robe is quite beautiful and is actually multicolored, it is even more colorful right now because it looks like a variety of things have been splattered on it throughout the night. So food, who knows what. But he still greets you with a tired smile and goes, "Drink?"
No, thank you. We're actually looking for some folks, seeing if they came this way.
It's not those 2, is it? Because I've been trying to get them out for a while.
Oh, look back at them.
It's 2 older human males, and you don't recognize them.
We're looking for a tall, half-orc young lady with a blue mohawk, and then a companion about yay high, orange hair, orange mustache. Very, very dainty and gentlemanly. Oh.
Are you here to pay their tab by chance?
Huh?
And for the damages, or
What?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
Middle of. There were multiple things involving them last night, but the piece that I'm talking about was about 3 hours ago.
Oh my goodness. What do we owe you for them?
Well, the bar tab is really not that bad. It's about 20 gold pieces at this point, which I suppose is higher than most bar tabs that I see these days. But the repairs to some of our rooms, I haven't calculated it, to be honest, but it's probably more in the range of 500 gold.
What did they do?
I'll give him 520 gold pieces.
He looks shocked as you slap that down, and he just kind of stares at it, and the cloth and the glass goes, and he's just, "Thank you, I did not expect. Thank you, we can start the repairs today, then."
Yeah.
We're so sorry.
What happened exactly?
I mean, some of it might not have been their fault, as far as I know, but they came in. They got some drinks, middle of the night. We didn't even remember them unless all of this had happened. They left for some time, I believe, and then came back for another round of drinks. And that's when the shrieking started.
Shrieking?
Gnomish shrieking. There was this woman with red hair that came in and was screaming at the one with the blue mohawk. Well, screaming for looking for the one with the blue mohawk. I don't know if she ever got her or found she was here, but the 2 of them started what do humans call it? A kerfuffle. And a fight broke out. A big fight.
Oh, gods. I'm so sorry.
It happens in bars, but the gnome was very upset and brought some rather burly dwarves with her. And a very nice chap, older gnome, who did try and pay for the damages, but we were so upset at the time, we escorted them out. I don't know what happened to the 2 that you're looking for, or the angry shrieking run, because We threw the angry shrieking one out, and it was one of the best things I've ever done. The two that you're looking for, they vanished at some point during it all.
Do you know, like, which way they might have gone? Which way?
As far as I remember, the only thing that I heard is they were leaving town.
Gaspard is getting such a lecture when we find them.
But they were both so bent on leaving town without even telling us. I think we would even find them.
They probably panicked.
Yeah. Or they ran into Cardia. Ooh. Well, let's try and still get a sending to them, see where things are at, make sure they're not like dead somewhere. See if they're coming back or if we should meet them somewhere. But otherwise we've got a lot of things to look into.
Yes.
Here I thought everything would be fine after that whole family was handled.
Come on, stuff was wishful thinking, wasn't it?
Yes. But we got entangled with the blue flames.
Should we keep looking, or should we just...
I don't think we even know where to start next.
Yeah.
Sick it is. Hopefully, maybe.
Hopefully.
First, let's let her rest, and let's get some food in here. Would you want to go somewhere, or do you want to go back?
I don't really care, to be honest.
Okay, come here, you. And he's gonna offer or ask to pick you up, like with his hand gestures.
It's okay, I can walk.
Okay.
Well, I hope you'll find the people that you're looking for.
Do you serve breakfast?
Sadly we don't. We're just a bar and a smoke lounge. Otherwise I would have offered food, especially with how nice you were in instantly repaying that rather massive debt. But there's many places to eat nearby that should be open now.
If it doesn't cover the full cost of the repairs, you'll want to invoice the blue flames of
The blue flames.
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind. The structural damage in the few rooms that we have is quite a mess, to say the least. There was some kind of a gun that went off, I believe, and the sound is still left my ears ringing.
Did anyone lose a hand?
Oh no, I don't think anyone even bled as far as I know. It was just a lot of lights and yelling and flashes and theatrics, and I saw some fists fly, but I don't think they were involved with that. The rest of the patrons just like a good brawl sometimes, like we all do, but I don't believe I had to mop up any blood at any point, and I didn't see body parts, which means it was a good night.
Ooh, excellent. Well, good luck. Let's go get some protein. Offset the sugar.
I'm gonna go back to the keep. I would like a little bit of sleep, but I'll meet back with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. He's gonna head out.
Okay. Roll a perception check as you go out.
Oh boy. 19.
19? Okay. So as you walk up the stairs ahead of everybody, it's the morning. People are out and about, even though the bars probably aren't going to be frequented too much. There's still people in the area that you guys were walking past and stuff. But as you walk up and get on the street and start to walk down the alley, you notice that there is a gnome that walks past you. And it's not a gnome that you've ever seen before. It's an older male gnome. And you wouldn't have even paid him any mind as he's kind of adjusting the jacket that he's wearing, which is kind of like a dark charcoal. But he has a patch on his arm that matches the blue flame symbol as he bustles past you. And he's going down into the bar. So it's up to you to do anything with it if you want.
Yes. Hey, excuse me, sir.
Yes?
May I ask if you're part of the Blue Flames?
Do I owe you money? Because that's what I'm going to do. If they sent you to find us, I've been trying to pay them since last night.
Oh no,
Or something?
you're okay. I don't want your money.
All right, then how can I help you?
I'm looking for the orc. of the blue thing. She's a friend.
Does she owe you money?
No, she's my friend.
Your
You
friend?
didn't say her name.
Kate. Yeah, she's my friend. I'm her friend. Hopefully, I think.
All right. You have to forgive me, as I've never met a friend. Well, besides her one friend, I've never met. Say what?
Gaspar?
No. Who?
That's her best friend, she likes to say.
I don't think I know a Gaspard myself. She had a friend at home that was very close to her, Dag. But beyond that, I'm not used to her having many. Are we talking about the same person?
Half pint?
Yes, we are talking about the friend. Where did you meet her?
Here?
At the bar?
No, just in town. Or like
Oh.
outside of town, technically, but
All right. Then do you know who I am?
I'm going to assume you're her dad?
Eh,
Xander, are you okay up there?
I met her dad!
Wait, what?
Come over here! Or maybe we should come down there, walk the stairs.
I'd probably stay out here. I have to go in there and deal with a very angry bartender and try to get him to take my money again. So,
Oh, it's taken care of?
oh,
Unless you owe more.
Oh. I think I've seen you before.
have you?
You were meeting with my father once, I think.
You have to forgive me. The brain isn't what it used to be. You do look vaguely familiar, and I have had dealings with, I assume, your people. Especially after last night, though, my brain isn't really in the right spot, so forgive me. But, are you all her friends?
Yes, traveling with her.
Half pint blue flame.
Yes.
Yes.
And your intern, Gaspard?
Still don't know that one either.
I think you shot them out of a cannon or something at one point.
I think it was Cardia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
She shot a lot of people out of cannons. I don't really recommend it, but she has. I'm Chromebeard. I'm Chromefeared Blue Flame. I'm her father. And Chromebeard's like average height for maybe a little bit on the taller side. He's got wild gray hair, giant gray beard. He's dressed very nicely, but his clothing is still on the kind of more low-key side where he has kind of charcoal gray pants, a jacket that is really rugged with one of the blue flame patches on it. You think he might be carrying something akin to a pistol of some kind, because there's just like a weird bulge in the side of that jacket. Polished leather boots, and just kind of a loose bright orange tunic. So he's very well put together, but if you didn't catch the glint of the blue patch when he walked by, you probably wouldn't have picked him out of a crowd, kind of thing. You have to forgive me, my daughter doesn't have many friends, and now I've run into 3 of you in the same day, which is slightly suspicious to my analytical mind.
This is completely unrelated. Might even be the strangest question you've ever received.
This is
How old
already
do you
one
think
of the
she
strange...
is?
Wait, what?
How old do you think she is?
Yeah, right?
God, you're starting this already.
Yep, it's important.
It's very important to me.
To know how... If you're her friend, don't you know how old she is?
No, I know how old she is.
All right.
Do you know how old she is?
Yeah, she's...
How old does a half-orc need to be to achieve adulthood?
Oh. That's why you're asking. Not as old as... It's complicated.
How
Yeah.
is it complicated?
You need to talk to Car... Was Half Pint asking questions about it?
Halfpint said how old she was, and Vander. This is Vander.
Hi.
Hello.
Vander was very interested how it came to be that she was considering herself barely an adult.
When she's,
She's an
into her middle
elderly
age.
woman now.
I think elderly's a stretch, but she is...
Half-orcs, on average, live to 50 years old. She's 40!
Yes. Fine, elderly. Of course I know how old she is, and I know when she matured. It's anyone knows. Anyone with half a brain I'm not saying anything against my lovely daughter, knows that. Cardia kept it from her on purpose for her whole life, and involved all of us in it unwillingly.
Why? That's such an awful thing to do to your child.
She thinks she has her whole life ahead of her, and she does not.
She's been robbed of her entire life. And Vander's like crying a little.
No, she wasn't robbed.
Is this a conversation for an alleyway?
Probably not. Conversations in alleyways are not. Anyway, I'm sorry, it wasn't to hurt her by any means, and it wasn't to trick. Cardia needed to protect her, wanted to protect her, and, well, my wife is many things. She is not the most wise when it comes to certain matters, especially matters of the heart. And she wanted to protect Half Pint, and if Half Pint would have known that she could leave, technically, much earlier, she probably would have, and I wouldn't have blamed the poor thing, and I considered seeking her out multiple times. But Cardia had a point to a certain extent. I would have rather just told Half Pint what was going on, but she was trying to protect her. Of course we know how old she is, and yes, she is rather long in the tooth, as they like to say. But we tried to give her the best life that we could behind walls where she was safe, and I'm glad that she's adventuring now, and I'm really glad that she made friends, because that's surprising to me, but it makes me so happy, and it warms my little heart. But
I respect you. You sound like a father that could invest.
well, thank
But oh
you.
my gosh!
I know.
Your wife!
I know. She's many things, and some of them are frustrating. You saw the bar.
Yeah!
That wasn't me.
That was her!
That was her.
Oh my goodness.
She has a lot to be. Not conversation for an alley. What is the? Can I go pay really quick?
Well, I guess your wife owes me 500 gold pieces now.
Well, thank you. She does.
But the tab was not their responsibility.
Yeah.
Don't know. 500 and make it 650 is what she owes you.
Well, yeah, you can invoice. You can send that invoice to the heroes of Orishire. Hora is your daughter.
Thank goodness. There's no way we're gonna get that because it's not legitimate.
She
Completely legitimate.
she named it what?
Yeah. Heroes of Orishire.
Oh, of course she did.
I tried to talk her out.
Where is she? I'm dying
We
to
were
see.
looking for her.
Apparently, she has fled, probably realizing what your wife has put her through. Well, specifically, she was afraid that Mummy would have something to say about the guns.
Oh, there's a word I haven't heard in a while. Yes, Mummy would have something to say about it. Mummy has a lot of things to say right now. Anyway, we need to talk somewhere else. Not that I think anyone's going to come listen, but alleyway. Were you all drinking that you want to go back downstairs and
No,
talk?
We were just looking for them. We were going to find something to eat.
Ah,
I think there's a lovely brunch spot around the corner.
I've smelled multiple different types of food since I've been in the area. It seems like there's a lot of places to eat. So yeah, wherever you want. Unless there's if there's any dwarven nearby, I would really like some dwarvish cuisine, but I'm sure I can find that later.
I'm gonna go back to the keep.
Well, yeah, we'll take care of this. You go rest up.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you
Very
too.
glad I was able to ask you that question. Oh my goodness.
We love her, and I hope she knows that it wasn't the best decision, and it's probably the biggest source of controversy and pain between me and my wife. So, but no, we didn't mean to cause her pain, and I really hope that being out in the world has been good for her, and meeting people has been good for her.
Yeah, I think so.
It has been interesting.
Interesting.
Dirk, lay down.
I'm not going now.
He's very drunk.
Nice fella though.
He's drunk from rum cake of all things, so like that tells you something.
Oh,
about him.
he was drunk from rum cake?
He had been making them, I guess.
Oh, that's a lot of cake then. But yes, wherever you were going to get food, we can talk about half pint.
Where can we get a dwarvish mimosa?
Dwarven. I'll have to add that to the world and make a recipe now. You don't know off the top of your head where you can find a dwarvish mimosa. But as Vander was leading you, you did pass a couple small, like, cafes that were opening. So it's up to you if you want to go there or somewhere you know or something like that.
Something nearby.
Yeah, something nearby.
Okay. Yeah, you can wander kind of the same path. You can kind of follow Vander for a block or two as he kind of weaves his way back the one way he knows how. And there's a couple different places opening, and the first one definitely doesn't seem like the right vibe. Cass, you might like it because it does seem to be an elvish run place, but it doesn't seem like it has hearty food by any means. But the next place, don't know who runs it or whatever, but it's a small corner cafe with the windows kind of like deeply tinted red, and from the inside there's just a lot of strong spice smells rolling out. There doesn't seem to be a particular sign hanging over it. It's a cafe though, as far as you can tell, and people are sitting inside at tables eating. So
Going to table for 3.
okay. As you walk in, Chromebeard kind of like darts ahead of you two. It is rather quick for what his age may be, and he runs up to a small counter in the back and has an animated conversation with, let's see, is it this one? With a furblog, actually, in the back, a female furblog, and talks with her for a few moments and then waves you two over to a table. And then he hops into kind of a half booth and waits for you two.
Well, thank you for getting a table.
Oh, I needed to check the menu first, but it sounds really good for the most part. A lot of spices, which I don't usually get in where we're from. It's called the Fascinating Panther too, which I've never heard of something by that name, so I'm here for the adventure at this point.
Let's see.
Something you and your daughter have in common.
Oh, she and I have a lot in common, and I've missed having her in my lab, so...
She does speak very highly of you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hope so. I love her, and I just want the best for her. So last night was definitely not the best for her, and I'm glad she managed to slip away.
I mean, she thinks very highly of both you and...
Mummy.
I think she was just afraid that she would get dragged back and not let out again.
Very much like a scared teenager, spitting out the punishment.
Well, Cardia was out for blood last night, so she wasn't going to actually kill her, but she was storming around the city screaming, and we happened to find them. Cardia has people, and they found them, and we went there, and Cardia didn't even try the approach of, "Hi, baby, how are you?" No, it was raging and screaming about our missing guns and assassination attempts, apparently. And that started a kerfuffle, or someone started a kerfuffle down there, and it was a mess.
I can see how that would escalate very rapidly.
It did escalate very rapidly.
I mean, her best friend, Gaspard, did potentially just lose a family member. So there's a lot of heightened emotions. So it could have just been let's guard ourselves. Let's protect Gaspard.
Gaspard?
Yes.
Gaspard. What do you look like?
Human, short, orangish hair, well dressed.
Mustache?
Like to, take center stage?
Yes,
Yeah.
he likes to think of himself.
Oh, you're talking about Party.
He's an actor.
Party.
Party?
Party?
Pardy. Party. You're talking about Party.
That's what you call him?
I thought that was his name. He was very enthusiastic about my inventions, as far as I can tell, and he did test some of mine. I don't remember Cannon or Cardia doing that, but he hung out with Half Pint a lot. I didn't hear him be called Gaspard. I remember Party, though.
That's how they introduced themselves to us. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, a nickname or something like that. No, he was a nice man. Didn't realize they were best friends, though.
Mm-hmm.
The only best friend I ever knew about was Dag, but you know what do parents know about their kids?
Dag.
Dag.
Oh. In Irido.
Yes, that's her childhood best friend.
Oh my gosh. I know them. They're
You-
lovely.
You randomly know her childhood best friend and it
I
didn't
guess
come up
so.
before?
The world's very small.
Oh.
Yeah.
How?
I
Are you from Ariel?
no, I'm from Treetop.
Well, that just gets stranger then.
Well, no, they were coming to like it was like a trade thing. We met.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's a bit... all right. Did you ever tell her that...
It never came up. Gaspard was the best friend,
Oh, well...
and I've never actually been there. So like,
I suppose we've had different, more important things to talk about besides best friends and meeting
It's
people.
been a hectic few weeks, yes.
Did she kill someone?
Potentially.
We're not sure.
we are actually kind of hoping so, but like
You're hoping that she killed someone.
it.
It's a long story.
You bad influences.
No, no.
I love the way you said that.
we're an adventuring group. We kind of formed randomly.
Uh-huh. Not through one of the licensed, like, agencies or anything?
No.
A kind of emergency situation.
All right.
So we ended up in Orishire, and we, saved the town from a hag and some, some cannibalism and all that. And
Magical
Oh, you're the
sabotage.
octopus people.
Yes!
And actually pulled up the bottle with Heta in it.
Oh, my. That's quite a specimen. Is that yours?
She is my familiar, yes.
Oh, the drawings around town and the stuffings seem to be pretty accurate then, from what I can tell.
That's Gaspard's doing. A big octopus in the sky kind
He
of gets
knits?
everyone's attention. Not the knitting, just big octopus in the sky kind of gets a whole city's attention.
Oh, well, yeah, we heard all about the hag. I mean, that's news everywhere at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was us.
so
All right.
so we figured out that like the hag stuff was connected to the Haven Snouts, and the council was like, let's put out a big call for someone to go assassinate the family. And we were like, okay, that's just a little wild. How about we go in, we try and see if we can deal with this situation. Found out that no, we truly did just have to assassinate them. And Frank had a shot, and she took it, and she did amazingly. And she was in a dress of all things, a big dress.
She was wearing a dress?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could have. So she did take the shot.
Yes.
Hmm.
It was probably the only way to take out some truly evil people.
I mean,
They were feeding
I-
ghouls to people,
they were what? For what purpose?
so the hag would feed on them.
They were seeding people with ghoul dust to attract the hag?
Yes.
Yes.
You see why we didn't have as big of some moral qualms about.
I mean, I'm breaking you over the coals a little bit because it still sounds bad, but most of us know how bad the Haven Snouts are, and not that bad, but okay.
But indeed, they are that bad.
They seem that bad then. All right.
They also stole her piranha plant, so like, there's some personal.
Well, that's where they fucked up then. They shouldn't have taken her stuff, especially that.
She's very protective of her things, yes.
She is, yes. Did she... All right. Cardia's pissed because, well, multiple reasons. Love you, babe. But there's a shipment of weapons missing, and that was the first thing that got under her bonnet. Did Half Pint sell them? Did she do something with
No,
them?
I think they just got left behind.
Left behind?
Oh, so we were. Yeah, I don't remember what the city was.
Was Hayden.
So we were in Hayden. And.
There was a stop on her route, yes.
Yeah, so, there was like a little festival. It was great. And that's where our adventuring party formed. We took a job, which I think she sent you the scroll for.
Kind of missing the first part there.
We don't need to.
She just sent us, yeah, she sent the scroll through. It made it through.
Right. So in doing that, we did gain the attention of a former room knight who was not happy with us. So we had to escape, which teleported us to Orishire. So we weren't able to get a ship to Orishire in our teleport.
So she
That's
left.
okay.
She left the ship then.
Yes, to save her life.
No, I get that part. It's just that connects a couple puzzle pieces because I never really liked that crew to begin with, and apparently they must have done something with the. Oh, all right. So it wasn't her fault, mostly.
I would say like 97% not her fault.
It's a very specific number, dear.
Yes.
All right. So she did take a shot and most likely kill members of a family that are very evil, and she didn't lose the guns intentionally. Okay, that's much better than I was hoping to hear. I mean, not that I think bad of her or anything, but I just assume the worst because that's what parents do. I just don't.
You're going to be concerned, yes.
Of course,
I understand. My father and I had a long talk before I left home.
hopefully one that was good and didn't involve screaming.
No screaming.
Good. Yeah, one thing that Cardia could... If I could just take away that woman's ability to scream, she would get so much further in personal relationships and professional relationships too. But
I mean, you all seem to be doing well, so I think you're okay.
who?
Like the blue things. Everything.
We are... In what sense are we doing well?
We haven't come across anyone who's like, oh, the blue flame screwed me over. I would like to murder them.
Why? That's because we have a very carefully curated image, and Cardia is the one behind it. Obviously, no, we're not murderers and we're not doing anything like on that, but we're a business like any other. Cardia is a shrewd businesswoman, though, so she doesn't put our seal on anything that isn't perfect, and she doesn't make deals that she doesn't follow up on. So, I mean, as a business, we're fine. As a family, how do you think we're doing after what your friend just talked about with the age?
Yeah, no, that is true.
There was definitely,
There's some tension.
yeah.
There's some problems. But
Yeah, Treetop has some wonderful retreats for dealing with these sorts of things.
I've tried to get her to go to a lot of things like that. She could use years at a retreat at this point in her life.
It wonders for my family. So.
I mean, if I could ever get her to go, I think it would do wonders for her, too. I love her. I love Half-Pint. But it's complicated in the way that my brain isn't really meant for. I like numbers and working with my hands. I'm not really good at managing other people, especially when it comes to relationships or being the one that's leading the business.
I see.
And at about that point, the Furblog that you saw earlier comes over and just slides a tray onto the table that is the exact size of this round circular table. And then it's just loaded up with these little clay pots of different steaming substances. Perhaps soup, but some of them are thick, some of them aren't. And there's a pile of just lightly browned, couple charred pieces of bread in the middle, and she just smiles and walks away. And Chromebeer, like, waves at her.
But that is quite a bit of food.
I wanted one of everything. I paid for it already.
I see. Thank you.
Of course. I mean, I don't get out that much of Iriel, at least, and Cardia does all the business trips, and I'm usually in the shop, so getting a chance to actually try something when the whole building isn't being blown up around me by angry people is wonderful. And he grabs, like, 3 pieces of bread and starts dipping them in the different things and just having a moment to himself as he, like, stares at the table.
Been connected to things. We've been a little bit on the run, and we've just been busy with a bunch of stuff.
Is on the run really the right way to put it?
Yes, I realized that was not the right phrasing. We've been busy with some stuff.
Uh-huh.
Has there been any word out of Hayden?
Or Inzor?
Yeah.
What kind of word?
If there's been any word about how things ended. We had to kind of leave in a hurry.
Not that I know of, but then again, I'm not the one that follows that sort of thing. If it involves me, I get told about it eventually, but, no, not that I know of. Cardia would be the better one to ask, to be honest, though, I don't know how a conversation with you all would go with her right now. So I'm not sure I'd advise it, but...
That would probably be a bad idea, yes.
No, I haven't heard anything. I mean, we got Half Pint's scroll. Cardia was proud. We put it up in the living room, but very shortly after that, we lost track of the ship. And then the shipment, and then the rumors started, and our guns started turning up in places they shouldn't have turned up in. And thankfully, no one's lost a limb yet that I know of, and the only assassination that was carried out by them was my daughter, so not too bad, I guess. But no, I haven't heard anything from those cities specifically that I know of.
Okay. Do you know what's going on in Treetop?
In what way?
Apparently there's been like a coup against the royal family.
Oh, that's been going on. Yeah, no, it's a mess.
Cool. Do you know the extent of it? Do you know like if the upper levels have been affected much at all?
Again, Cardi would be better, but the pieces that I picked up is it's pretty much up versus down. Up is holding it together and nothing's really going on up there, but now it's kind of a class war and it's kind of a mess on the bottom floor. Nobody's really getting in or out, just like always. Like they're keeping that stick up and they're still trading. They're trading with us just fine, but there is some backstabbing and it's pretty dramatic.
Sounds very unpleasant.
That's incredibly unpleasant. This is typically why I stay in my study, very specifically, because I don't like this sort of thing.
No, that makes sense. Father also says that's why we don't go out in the world unless the gods need something from us.
Well, gods needed you to leave?
They sent me.
Oh.
Figuring it out.
Well, I mean, that sounds like it's at least more straightforward than a lot of people trying to find out what they're doing in the world.
Sometimes, even when you can hear them, it's kind of hard to tell what they mean sometimes.
I mean, everything I've heard about them is they really just kind of talk in riddles and they're not the best. So that's why I never really worshipped any of them myself. I need a little more instruction. So are you going to want to talk to Cardia?
Maybe not right this minute.
Probably not a good idea, at least for a little while. She's not happy after last night.
Yeah, we have other things to look into and
Yes.
look around with. You know, like with
In,
an adventure.
Quite a few days.
It does seem like, yeah, you've got a lot going on right now.
Mm-hmm. So how long do you plan to stay in Orshire?
As long as it takes to sweep the city and make sure that Half Pint's not here, at least. Which she's not, so I can probably drag it out for a week or so.
If we run into them, would you like us to send you specifically a message of like, hey, found Half Pint, not dead?
I would like that, for sure. If you can find some way to get a hold of me and not Cardia. The thing is, you're probably not going to hear from them for a week or two, and they put their barrel of occluders in.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Okay. We will give them a lecture about staying together as a group, and then we will let you know.
Don't lecture them too badly.
No. Make a lecture.
This is...
I'm sure to a certain extent, but I was the one that sent them away last night. I wasn't just going to tell people that walked up into me in an alley where they went. I had to make sure you were at least half sane or knew them and weren't bounty hunters from Cardia.
That is a very concern.
Yeah, actually.
So you've passed the test at this point. They're fine. Both Gaspard and her.
Where did you send them?
Out of the city. But specifically, I chartered them on a nearby boat and got them out of the bay last night.
Do you remember which boat by any chance?
I wasn't paying attention. I think it was the Singing Lamb. I'm pretty 92% sure it was a Singing Lamb, but during the mess that happened last night, I was able to get to the two of them and get them out around Cardia, because as much as that woman is bundle of rage that thinks she can just brute force her way through anything, there are those of us that have many tricks up our sleeves that Cardia doesn't, including her old hubby. So I got the two of them out, talked to them briefly, and got them on their way. I gave her a hug and, barely got to talk to her, but I told her to get out of the city, wait a week or two, and then come back. And she knows to try and get a hold of me, and, we love her and everything's okay, but I just wanted to get her out. And her friend didn't realize it was party, though, because they were a girl with,
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
very vivacious.
Yeah, that checks out for her.
Well, I gave them a little bit of money and chartered them on the Singing Lamb, I'm pretty sure, and then told them to lay low for a bit, and they told me about the occluders, and I really wanted to take one of them for study, but they're going to be off the grid for at least a week or two, and that was my doing, so if you want to lecture them, by all means, lecture them about other things, but that was me getting them out of Cardia's wrath last night.
Thank you for looking out for them.
Thank you for being her friend. I would have known that she had more of you, and here I might not have tried to get them on a ship so quickly. They'll be looking for you, and they specifically wanted me to talk to their friends is all I got, which isn't a lot for me to go off of.
No, she's kind of bad about the details like that sometimes.
Yeah, let's just say that she didn't give me the best descriptions of you all, by any means. But, as fate has it, I found you.
Just follow the trail of destruction.
I mean, that's where, if Cardia or her daughter, bless her heart, are involved, there's different types. Cardia is a little more intentful, and Half Pint's a little more accidental, but it's still a trail to follow, so I'm glad you followed the trail. Is there anything else I need to know that she didn't tell me? Can I help you all? I'm so sorry that I sent her away. I wanted her out. I wanted her away so Cardia didn't get her chance to dig her claws into her. In the state that she's in, especially after the assassination. Our family name has quickly become, Blue Flame means a little something different already when the description of a giant flaming orb that is still going, as far as I know, somehow, which I have scientific questions about, not to mention moral, mostly scientific though, because it shouldn't have.
We
Anyway.
didn't expect it to do that
Yeah,
either.
the blue flame is quickly starting to get a different meaning, and Cardia is not happy about that. I'm like, at this point, but that emblem is quickly going to be a sign of
This emblem means death.
sure, this emblem means inferno that will just sit there and I don't know. Cardia is so angry about it.
None of us expected that to happen.
As far as I know, it's still going. Nobody would expect that, because even if you detonated an entire building full of art, it doesn't make sense to me why it's still going. So yeah, I don't know. But Cardia is pissed, to say the least.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of answers now.
That did explain a lot, yes, thank you.
I mean, I still feel lost for the most part, but I'm glad that and that's not being sarcastic. I truly am glad that you have some answers, and I was able to pass that message on, and you have some idea of where she is now. I told him to go a couple cities down the coast. They're probably 100 miles away now. I doubt they're going to go farther than that. They didn't want to be separated from their friends, which, again, not a good description. Plus, I might want to lecture her a little bit, too, because she called you, Shark Lady? I think you're that one.
I think you probably remember my father a little better now.
I mean, I know, I think I might. The brain is really, when it comes to that sort of thing, and I'm not good with faces, but I think she was, stereotyping just a little bit there with that description.
So, I mean, it's very singular.
I suppose, but I got goody two-shoes, shark face, furry man. I think that was all that I got. I also got grumpy old lady guard.
Oh, yeah. Hobita.
Yeah.
A name would have helped.
She's the captain of the watch here.
Oh. Because she's looking to lock you up?
No, she's a friend of ours.
Oh, better. All right.
I don't think she entirely knows what to do with us all the time, but she's appreciative of what we are trying to do.
Good. You have friends in decently high places, then. I assume after killing a hag, most people here would be pretty friendly to you.
Yes.
Good.
By the way, I'm Cass. This is Sonny. You met Vander.
I was waiting to see at a scientific point, like, when you were going to actually tell me, because I got one name and I gave you mine, but it just kind of became amusing. Nice to meet you.
It did get to look away from us, yes.
That's all right. There's a lot more to talk about than just names, and I didn't really need them, but I'm glad I know them now. I'll keep them out of Cardia's earshot for quite some time.
That's probably a good idea. It
Yeah,
seems like.
I'm not drawing a target on your back.
That's good. We already have one, so.
Did people connected you to the assassination?
I don't think so.
If they do, you're in trouble. I mean, not from me or anyone with a sane head on their shoulders, but the Haven Snouts had friends, just like any idiot does.
No. We were very stealthy. The blue flaming inferno, that was not stealthy, but no one knows where it came from.
I bet that was a bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like you're, as far as I can tell so far, good folk. Especially, I never have been questioned about Half-Pint's age quite so fiercely and bluntly like that man did. But it was good.
Yeah,
It was good.
He's very concerned for her well-being.
When you need more people like that in the world and less Cardias, as much as I love my wife, you need more people like that actually care. But it's a long story, and he probably should get it from Cardia if he really wants to know. But just reassure him when you talk to him that we love her and it was only ever to protect her, even though it wasn't the best decision.
What are you trying to protect her from?
To be honest, a vague threat.
Those are the best.
It makes it sound weaker now that I say it that way, but Half-Pint, obviously, she was adopted.
Yes.
She was left on our doorstep one night as a child. I mean, an infant, wee thing, even for a half-orc, wee, something like that. But we woke up one night and it was like out of a storybook, with a baby in a makeshift cradle on our doorstep with a note. And that's where we met our beautiful, lovely, intelligent daughter. And because of what was in that note, which I never saw, and you can see the gnome shake ever so slightly with probably rage, we kept things from her because Cardia, what she conveyed to me is that Half-Pint has some sort of thing, I don't want to say importance, perhaps, but someone was trying to kill her entire family, her entire clan, I assume. And she was the last one. I don't know the name of them, I don't know why, I don't know where, but for some reason, she ended up on our doorstep, and we wanted to protect her and make sure that she had a good life. And whatever Cardia read in that damn note, it burned up in her hand afterwards. It was one of those stupid notes where first time someone reads it, and she didn't tell me. She's never told me. She said it would complicate things, but yeah.
Keeping the secrets complicated plenty by itself.
Mm-hmm. It got away from her, but we love her, and the whole thing was just to protect her. And every time we talked about her age from a child, she's outside playing, 6 years old. I talked to her about, when are we going to send her to a proper school with other people and not just have her private tutors. I think I lost a couple decibels of hearing in one of my ears that day because she just wouldn't have it. She flew into an unhinged rage. One of her first unhinged rages, and it's just that you can't talk to her about it because she needed to protect her. But eventually, way too long, it did hit a point where Pathpint wasn't going to stay anymore. And the only way she had managed to dissuade her for so long is the whole gnomish thing with the age. And that eventually ran out. So she didn't have any other option, and that's why she sent her out in one of our ships with one of our crews and tried to keep her as locked down as possible. And you see how well that went.
Yes, we definitely have seen how that went.
But it sounds like she did some good in the world. Even if it's not the exact way a lot of us would have gone, maybe you two, but a lot of us wouldn't have gone around it. And I'm sure that you didn't intend for things to end up exactly the way that it did.
No, we didn't.
And, killing evil people is never an easy or good thing. Somebody has to do it, I suppose. But I'm glad she met you. I'm glad she has friends. And I'm glad she's living life, I guess, because I have lived, but I guess I haven't lived the adventurer's life. I haven't lived that kind of a life, so.
She's flirted with someone, even.
Now you're... No.
Yeah.
Really?
It wasn't good, but, like, she tried.
Authentically? Like it wasn't part of something? Like a joke?
Did she authentically first? No, it might have been to get information, but still.
I mean, that's still something.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Next thing you're going to tell me she started wearing dresses and...
Well, we already told you she wears dresses.
Well, she wore one to go to that mall.
Yeah.
Wait, you were serious?
Yeah.
With the whole shooting in a dress?
Yeah. It was
Oh, I thought you were just
like-
bullshitting me.
No, it's this blue-red
She
monstrosity.
had a little creature following her around to carry the train.
Of course she did. No, never mind. You're not making it up, are you? Oh, honey, that's my half pint. Well, hopefully she'll get in touch with you all soon. I gave her an extra rod of sending that I had, so the second that she feels safe, I'm sure they'll communicate with you.
That's good.
And if you can just let me know in case, I mean, she doesn't tend to forget to keep me in the loop, but...
Imagine you only had one extra.
No, well, yes. It's just, she doesn't always talk to me either, because they're hard to come by sometimes, and she knows it's hard to get a hold of me without Cardia finding out.
No, that's fair. I need to try to send someone the message. I prefer not to go through somebody else, but so it is.
Why don't you just buy a rod?
I don't know where to find one right now, but look around.
Maybe at Harmon's?
Yeah, it's just in weapons and armor.
It's always better if you know someone that can send it. The rods work in a pinch. They're always, in my opinion, overpriced. So, Cardia just knows the spell. Works way better.
Yeah, we also know someone who knows the spell.
Just, like I said, just a matter where I prefer not to have to go through an intermediary, but...
Oh, delicate matter.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Her girlfriend.
Oh. Why didn't you learn the spell? Why didn't you learn the spell?
It's not the tradition I follow.
Oh. I'm not a spellcaster, so I just know that Cardia was able to learn it, and it saved her a little bit of money, but mostly she can now have her private calls. So.
And Sonya's kind of like point out, she's like, I'm a conduit for my gods. I don't.
And your gods outlaw sending?
They just haven't granted it to me.
Oh. So they trickle the knowledge.
It's more a matter of gaining more understanding.
Yeah, all right.
Some things are harder to do until you've been a conduit for them long enough.
Definitely not my field at all. Well, I'm very glad that I ran into the three of you. It makes me feel better, at least.
Well, we should probably go let Vander know what's going on. It's, I think it's been enough time that we could get sick up and all that. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's barely been 35 minutes, but...
Yeah, but, it's a walk back and,
I suppose.
This wasn't the first person we ran into today, so...
All right, well, I'm going to keep sampling this for a while before I have to go back and lie to my wife. But
I'm sorry for that.
and it's old hat at this point. I'm very excited that I got to see my daughter even for 5 minutes, and I'm really kind of sad that I can't share that with my wife. That's honestly the hardest part of it, but I'm glad I ran into you, and now you know, and I know more about her. I'm so proud of her in so many different ways. But you, likewise, if you can get a rod or someone that can cast it, you can talk to me at any point about them. Just don't send a spinning spell to my wife, please.
No, that's a good idea.
Good. So if you see the patch, stay clear of it, unless it's me. Just in case she's around the corner.
Of course.
All right. Well, safe travels,
As
and
well.
good luck. And say hi to Half Pint if you get to her before me, which I think you probably will.
As soon as we see her again, yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. And you guys are going to leave
Mm-hmm.
and head back towards the keep?
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll go ahead and take our break here, and then we'll go ahead and pick up, here in a few minutes at the keep with Vander and see what he was up to in the time that lovely impromptu morning meal was going on with Sonny, Cass, and Chromebeard Blueflame, who we were hoping to see for quite some time, and I'm glad we got to see him for a little bit.
So, Sonny, that was a death.
That was a father.
That was a
I
father.
feel like Gaspard said he was a daddy, though, too.
Hey.
Okay, I don't say that.
More on that to be discussed during the break. We're going to go on break for about 15 minutes. We try and keep it short. We like to leave the mics on, though, and leave them on the tables or clipped if we stay sitting as we get drinks and snacks and stuff like that. So if you have any questions or you just want to chit-chat with us, please do in the Twitch chat, because the video is going to go off. It's going to go back on just one of the standard screens. But we will be here. You can hear us and talk to us, and we'll be back here on the camera in a little bit to pick back up at the keep. So see you soon. And then talk to you right now. So, thank you.
Glad Vander got some of that conversation.
He got a little.
Find her mom.
I'm waiting for that encounter so badly. Didn't want to throw Cardi at him right away.
And make sure you have cough drops.
Yes.
The amount of yelling
There's going to be, if anybody can out yell Cardia Blue Flame, I feel like that very gentle, wonderful Furblog, peaceful monk will be the person that out yells Cardia Blue Flame. So, yes, we will need some cough drops. We will need to stretch beforehand. It'll be a very, very intense session. But yes,
Going to be we need to plan for this one and not just spring it on you.
Yep. Well, and I feel that at least Vander has some answers now.
Mm-hmm.
At least because Vander was totally like being like, I'm about to snap and go insane, old man, if you don't tell me something about this, because none of this makes sense. So at least Vander has a little bit of information to go off and be like, okay, I'm not insane, because I think that's what Vander was looking for in that moment. But Vander ran off, so we can't get that insight from Vander just yet.
Let's give it a couple minutes.
Yep. We never got a hydrate, did we?
No, I think we did.
Oh, very sad.
Yeah,
No,
I've
no
not seen
hydrate.
an anomaly in here.
Say what?
I've not seen an anomaly.
Have not
It
seen
is
it
usually
either.
her, yes.
Yep.
Or Vander.
The anomaly could be dealing with. Apparently, Chromebeard's voice is just burned into me now. Anomaly's probably dealing with all sorts of interesting things going on in the laboratory at her house, because my phone just did some things telling me that the power went out there in reality, and that's probably because the breaker got tripped for the 3rd time today.
Oh boy.
But Nat Levy just redeemed a hydrate, so
Oh, well, thank you. We blew the circuit breaker like 3 times today because for some reason the circuit that the den is on is connected to a bunch of other stuff that shouldn't be on the same circuit, and when you plugged 2 heaters in to heat the cold room up for the paint that are like tiny little ceramic heaters that are very powerful, and then you do something else in the house on the same circuit, it pops the breaker. And
Oh.
I don't know if that actually happened, but I just saw my security system, like in the house, go to cellular, then Ethernet a couple minutes later, which typically is the way the house is telling me that the power went out. So there might be some messing around in the laboratory over there.
I learned that dental floss is indeed a good way to get like poster notes off of the wall.
Wait,
Oh,
really?
you're scraping?
Yeah.
Like you just put
Like
it
the
around
whole
it and pull?
Or you floss it through. And
Oh.
it's like there.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Most recent thing I saw about floss on TikTok was people using floss and human hair, where you can just, if you have long hair, you can just wrap like a couple strands of your hair around a bottle and pop a cap with it. Probably not great for your hair, but
Yeah,
it was a compilation of people showing how with hair you can easily pop a bottle that needs a bottle opener. And then some people were showing that you could do it with floss. It was like a... I don't
Anything
know.
with enough tensile strength to not snap immediately.
Yeah.
Drink your drink.
I'm drinking my drink, kiddo!
I don't think my hair will hold up to that very well.
Don't think so?
I've got very fine hair.
Well, yeah, mine probably wouldn't either. It would get shredded by the teeth on the cap. My drink's almost gone!
Sonny's less depressed, having to give Cass a thorough explanation of the difference between daddies and fathers.
I know what the problem
Oh,
No, that is understood. Not on Twitch.
It's not a beer. Eric would be very upset at you calling his icky IPA a beer.
Oh.
How you doing? Why are you petting?
I will braid it.
Yeah, it's been braided before.
I agreed with it.
It's,
So luscious.
that's it. You haven't really like long hair. That was one thing. That was one thing.
Yeah, give him a minute right here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Play with my hair. They like my hair.
Salt.
Kitty.
Salt.
What are you rubbing?
Salt, the Himalayan salt lamp.
Oh, I've never seen one of the globe before.
Check it. That would be very simple.
Reba brought it. She just hasn't taken it back.
I recently got addicted to millennial to avocado toast. Because, oh my god, it's so good. A friend of mine has been making it, and they use the Himalayan, not the Hawaiian black salt stuff. Are you taking right? I don't have much. I guess you're. I do. It's not in your pants.
No, yeah, yeah.
Without white but you don't have to me. That's saying something to you. Oh my god.
What about this
that
say?
Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, it's all that thing. You tried it, and then you just catch it out of Oh my god. And that is the match. Oh, that's so. That makes maybe kind of. I've seen that like collection. I got it. Really? Spencer's had that nice. Yeah, they did that. There's no way this actually. Weird in that. I mean, Spencer's, yeah, Spencer's is really weird, but sometimes they have good stuff. It's hot topics, I guess. What those lamps do? I saw something a couple weeks ago where like the lamps can cause moisture buildup or something like that. I don't know. You just taking it for the ambiance, for the holiday stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's off the props.
Yeah, I need to go buy the tokens to get stuff. That's why it's still on the table because I need to get my tokens and I'm just going to put it away and then have to reorganize it
Well,
later.
yeah, now we got to switch to Christmas. Oh, are you the Grinch? You don't like Christmas?
I'm a little humbuggy.
Oh, okay. Bugging.
Never would have
You're-
guessed. I am a such humbuggy just because of how commercialized it is.
If you like musical, you need to watch Spirited that just came out because, dear God, my favorite Christmas movie has always been the one with Bill Murray. I think it's just Scrooged. Great movie, but they just came out with one with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, and it's musical randomly, and it's amazing. It just Jillian can vouch. It's just so goddamn good.
It was fantastic.
I mean, I can check it out. I don't have anything against the holiday. I hate the way it's
You're gonna kill me, right?
Oh.
Oh my God! You said what? You don't have anything in the
I
holidays?
just don't like that Christmas is not for
It's very
Halloween and Thanksgiving.
And, yeah, no, I get it.
It's just crammed down everybody's throat that, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's not about family, it's not about together.
Yep.
It's,
I get that. I get that.
I'm a little humbuggish about it. It's not that I don't like the holiday.
Look at the little hands! About the size of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that now in my life, I'm still somewhat at the point of I didn't have a gift because whatever weird branch of Christianity my parents were, we didn't do Christmas, and I didn't get Christmas until like late in my 20s when I found friends and moved away from there. So to me, Christmas still has a little bit of that kid sparkle to it in a weird way. So even as an adult, so I kind of just plus I like the shiny lights.
Well, everybody around me was benefits at the tree with my mom. Reba and Jim lived up there with my mom.
I know skeletons.
There will be probably plus my adopted brother will be actually home on
Oh, that's awesome. This is the first year that Kelly's parents we don't have to drive to Oregon because they moved down here. So yeah. Except I had like COVID flu when they were down here for Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago and couldn't come out. So they all had Thanksgiving at the house without me. I brought food, obviously. But it'll be nice to do.
just slid under the door.
Pretty much. No, they put it.
solitary.
They put a chair outside the door and then just would put things on the chair for me. And, you know, I got a full Thanksgiving dinner, so I can't complain.
You're a full
But-
Thanksgiving dinner.
I am a full Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Mostly turkey, but. So, this will be the first Christmas that we have down here. So, that's going to be super nice. I'm excited about that. It's already incredibly Christmassy in our neighborhood, too, because we live in the neighborhood that has all the Christmas light competitions going on. So,
Possible.
yesterday, driving through the really weird weather we were having, I was like, oh my God, some of you are already set up. And there's just the like $10,000 lights on some of the houses, or probably more than $10,000. And it's just amazing. So, all right. Yep. We'll be back in just a minute. All finishing getting drinks and snacks and resetting a little bit after playing for a bit, but we'll be right back. I don't know why Chromebeard's voice is hanging on for so long. God. Been wanting to play that gnome for quite a while because we have not seen him in the live show. We saw him in the like first first like beta test of everything, but we have not seen him since then. And poor Half Pint wasn't here.
I would have been okay.
Huh?
She likes it.
Oh, she loves her dad. One of my favorite little interactions is when we were, beta testing everything, and
She was hiding in her own house.
yes, and she surprised her dad, and it was super wholesome when the two of them got to hang out for a little bit. So, hopefully they get to interact in the future. So it'll be awesome when we get that chance again. Another Gatorade. Thing is, after today, I need it. All right. I think we are almost ready. Did you put your mic back on, Ray? Oh, it's so low. Okay.
Yeah, you got that pretty far down.
Don't you want everyone to be able to hear you?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, okay.
They just get, yeah, they just get like a hint of Vander.
A hint of Vander.
Vander looked like
Yes, that.
It's a vendor.
Yes, the essence of. Is that his tea line or his perfume line?
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Perfume.
Yeah.
it's a drinkable perfume.
Yes, it's a drinkable perfume. You'll take the market by storm.
Is it a perfume or an essential oil?
Oh, yeah.
Vander would never.
No, that's a different line.
Oh, okay.
Under the table.
Okay. Under the table line. Okay.
Get it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Monastery somehow, right?
Ah! Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, Nat, I hope 2023 will be a much more stable and yet, well, much more stable year for everyone. Don't know about the chaos. There's been plenty of chaos for the past, 4 years.
I don't think there could be more chaos.
No more chaos, please. No more. All right. Well, I think we're ready if we want to go ahead and flip the cameras.
You're back.
Oh, you're back? Oh, hi! We're back. Which is great because if you're watching us on YouTube in the future, we cut the breaks out. But if you catch us on Twitch for a live show on Sunday, 7 p.m. PST, during the break we leave the mics on and you can join in on all the weird conversations and the fun that was just going on. But anyway, we're back. We're going to go ahead and pick up pretty much where we left off, just rewinding 30 minutes or so, because Cass and Sane just had a great conversation with Chromebeard Blue Flame over some wonderful food. But we're going to rewind and follow Vander as he makes his way back to the Guard's Keep in the city of Orishire, which you can retrace your steps very easily back. This is the fourth time that you've headed there to or from the Groundhog. So you get back. Nothing's really changed. Were you pretty much beelining to where Sick was?
Let's go some.
Okay. It's probably been an hour and a half-ish, pushing barely an hour and a half since you left her there to begin with. Are you going to go and sleep with her, or are you going into a different room?
I'll give her privacy. I'll go into another one.
Okay. So you can take one of the nearby open ones, probably next door, I assume?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then just crash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty easy. Pretty simple.
Okay. But you're not going to try and meditate or do anything fancy? Okay, cool. So you can easily take over one of the quarters there. Everything's made up nice and fresh for you. Shut the door, and sleep will find you very quickly after your night of intense bathing. And that's how Furblog stores, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. So many sound bites that we need to get. We need to get the canoodling sound bites. We need to get that sound bite. So many sound bites that I have to collect here for a future episode. All right. So you get some well-earned rest. Cass and Sani, what are you up to after you left Chromebeard?
Okay, so do we go after, do we chill here until they come back? Should we leave a note being like, hey, we're on our way to wherever we're going?
And if we're going anywhere, leaving some kind of message with Covita is a good idea. But if they have sending, then that simplifies things a little bit.
I think unless we get an answer, like, from Matilda being like, help, I'm being held hostage somewhere. I feel like we need to go to club. Or treetop.
Yeah.
Hey, Matilda's gonna be okay.
Just. It's been the day.
It's been a month.
This is true.
No. We're gonna get through this. So I guess we're just heading back to Pete.
Okay. Nothing too much different on your way back. Hasn't been that long. Still early morning drills and the bustle at the keep. Are you two going to be looking for someone? Waiting to a specific time? What are you both going to do?
And I think Sonia will probably find one of the guards she knows and just say, hey, don't interrupt her, but I would like to speak with Kobita later. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah, they don't even bat an eye. They just nod. And are you going to head back to your quarters, or are you both trying to like rouse Sick or Vander or do something else until then?
I mean, I think Sonia's going to insist that, let them sleep, and then when
Okay.
Stick is up, see if she'd be willing to help with the sending spell. But
Okay.
I guess just chilling until an appropriate time to wake them or they get up.
Okay. Let us check something here really quick.
And Seth dies in her sleep.
Yes. Everybody has to go out somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Too much rum cake. Didn't think that's the way she was gonna die, but you know what? Died with a smile on her face and a full belly of rum cake. So
What a way to go.
yep, what a way to go. Cannot complain. All right. So the day goes on for quite a while. Kobita doesn't show her silvery head at any point during the day. The guards come and go throughout the keep. You see lunch happen. You see different training drills. You see multiple shift changes. The city comes to life a bit more in the distance with smoke billowing from different chimneys and more ships showing up in the harbor and arriving and departing. And it just seems like a normal day in Orishire. So you have some downtime to yourself as you're waiting. And about... quickly do the math in my head. So about like 5 or 6 in the evening, after a decent amount of time has passed, well over 8 hours, is when you're going to finally wake up, as you were pretty tired and feel decently restored at this point. So wake up naturally, feel like you have a lot of sore muscles still, but that was probably the best night's sleep you've had in a while, at least since meeting these folks. Or traveling down that road, at least. So you wake up in the same room that you went to sleep in. You can see it's much later in the day with the light streaming outside. What would you like to do?
He'll get up and see if who was all in their rooms.
Okay. What about Cass and Sane? Were you both pretty much camped outside? Were you waiting in your rooms?
I think waiting and... I mean, we could be social and, like, chit-chat through this, or just, like, enjoy each other's company or whatnot. So, we're together in a room.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it'd basically be that, or Sonia just be kind of walking around because she still hasn't gotten tired and doesn't really want to sit still.
I'm not
So,
keeping an eye on Sonny.
So you walk outside. You see that the door where Sick is still closed and the curtains are drawn, so it doesn't look like she's awake yet, question mark. And the door next to Sick's, which would have been Sani's, is wide open, and you hear Cass and Sani like chit-chatting inside.
He'll check on Sick first.
Okay. How do you check on Sick?
Gentle knock.
Gentle knock? No response.
Harder knock.
No response.
Open the door.
Okay. The door was not locked. And you open it, and you can see that it's almost pitch black on the inside, because it looks like she took a lot of the blankets from the bed and made impromptu blackout curtains.
No,
And she blocked most of the light out of the room. And you notice that when you push the door open, you actually, like, there's a purple cloth that trails that was probably jammed underneath the door, so light wouldn't spill in underneath it. And she is face first into a pile of pillows and is snoring.
Oh my gosh.
So she's been out, 9+ hours now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she needs to wake up. Gently nudge her.
So there's a very specific reason that I'm asking this. It's not just the DM being pedantic. So she's face first in some pillows. She's still wearing the oversized pirate's clothes that she had borrowed, covered in flour. How do you nudge her?
On the shoulder,
Just tap her on the shoulder, kind of thing?
he's pretty gentle.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
Oh boy.
One of those sleepers.
14.
14? Okay. So you reach down, tap her on the shoulder to try and get a response, and there's a sudden blur of motion, and you find yourself on your back on the bed, disoriented. Because as soon as your fingers touched her shoulder, a hand came up and grabbed yours, and in a show of acrobatics that would make your teacher very proud, she managed to flip you over the almost 9-foot tall, right, furblog, and threw you onto the bed with her own force.
Oh boy, I sure hope this doesn't awaken something.
You did not! I love you, but I hate you. God damn it, that was perfect. Oh, it needs to be a meme drawn now. Oh, oh my god. She nat 20'd that.
Oh
So that is not just, she legitimately, I have the 20 next to me now. I was like, damn. So she nat 20'd that reaction.
You only get 20s when it's targeted at one of the player characters.
Apparently, yes. Only when, So it's disorienting because you're not used to be thrown. Number one, you can hold your own in fights, and due to your size, you don't get thrown around, kind of thing. Just doesn't happen. So she manages to flip you legitimately through the air, slam you down on the bed, and as her eyes are opening, because she did it with her eyes closed, she's standing above you with your hand twisted, and she looks down at you and blinks. Fuck, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I honestly don't think I mind this.
Mind being attacked? And she's standing over, right over him. You would have heard the crack thud.
That's why I'm what the hell's?
So do we investigate because this might be dangerous, or do we not because it could not be dangerous?
As long as peeks through the door, and I imagine the door's still open behind you.
Yeah. So no, you see a disheveled, flower-covered elf standing right above Vander on the bed with, she dropped his hand, but you can tell that she was in a battle pose or something like that, and she's just standing above Vander and looks over at you and goes, I don't.
Is everything okay?
Yep.
I'm fine. I feel great.
Would you like us to close the door?
Sure, because I need a second.
Okay.
Thanks. And she takes one leg off to the other side and then flumps down on the bed, sitting next to you, and she is bright red.
He's red too. It's okay.
I
He's just laying there yeah.
We're gonna have to keep them at the opposite side of a hall or something. They can't be right next door. If that's what it's getting up to.
I'm not going to judge.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying for everyone's for everyone's ability to sleep, they're gonna have to be a little ways off.
Oh my god.
didn't mean for that to happen.
It's okay. How are you?
Well, I haven't blushed this hard in a very long time, so
Okay, me neither.
yeah, well, we're in the same boat at least, so I'm doing fine. I slept great.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're up.
I mean, you were just up. I don't think I've ever thought. Shut up. Never mind. Cancel the production. Shut the cameras off. What the hell? The DM did it again. In the air. In the air.
Me too, which is the best part.
I think we need to get off.
Ah.
Oh my gosh.
That's not as fun as part of the blue point is.
You were just in the air. Up in the air.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, why don't I go check with the others? I think they need to use it for something.
I think we could take a minute for the blush to settle, at least, and catch my breath. I think I might have thrown my arm out doing that, so that's a problem for another few minutes, at least. Is everything all right?
There's some stuff.
Did I blow my mic out? What are you doing? Oh, okay.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Okay. Everything's all right.
There's some stuff going on, but nothing you need to worry about right now. Let's just take a. You're right. You should breathe.
How long was I out?
Over 9 hours.
That's a new record.
You're sleeping like a baby.
Like a baby.
Yeah, like.
Oh, yeah. I do know what you mean. Don't really sleep like an elf, so tend to keep the whole meditating act up most of the time, but I don't meditate. I sleep.
Sleeping is nice.
It's really nice, but people start to ask questions if they hear an elf snoring that stays out for more than 4 hours. So,
They're lame.
I mean, I don't know if they're lame, but I kind of understand the questions. But I'm glad that I got some sleep. I was an internet. Say what?
I'm glad you did too.
Yeah. Definitely haven't woken up like that in a while. It's old reflex. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Just the pride face blush?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be okay.
Will you?
Yeah. I'll probably think about this later.
Oh, really now? When you go find, like training sparring partner and stuff so it doesn't happen to you in the future? So like a tiny little elf doesn't whip your ass like that?
I don't.
She's just smirking at you right now.
I don't think I will say what I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you ever want to spar, I'm actually pretty good with hand-to-hand.
I actually think I'd like that.
Yeah. I think you'll kick my ass if it's not like that. It's kind of a surprise, but maybe I'm a bit better at it than I know. So, plus I have a feeling you go easy on me. And she thwops him in the shoulder and then hops up off the bed. Should we go find the other two before they weave even more crazy stories in their head?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
He'll get up.
With the amount of thirst that just Anomaly has redeemed the hydration.
Of course, Anomaly was there for that. Anomaly gets to see the yes, that whole the DM messing up. The DM being the DM and messing up is what Anomaly got to see. Yeah. Yep, that's just what I do, because why would I be thinking like that in that moment? But thank you, players.
It was really good.
It was, yeah. I can't argue that. It was. Oh, the jokes that I will make later when the camera's off.
Cass is just like leaning against the wall.
Yes.
With Sonny being like, I don't think that can be fully captured under canoodling. I feel like that's more severe. There needs to be a different word.
Oh my god. We'll sort it out later.
At that moment, the door flies open as Sick throws it open. And she steps out and just brushes some of the flour off. And you two are still near, like, just standing right next door, right? And she just, like, brushes the flour off and looks at you two and goes, he scared me.
And
Sorry.
He's like,
It's
we
fine.
just heard a bed frame cracking, and it was, what's going on?
When you're not used to sleeping with anyone for years and you're a high-profile target that is likely to get assassinated, I'm not used to someone tapping me on the shoulder. So he didn't do anything wrong. It just... I was trained.
It's fine. We just heard a surprising noise, that's all.
When you throw someone his size, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to make a sound.
He let me win, so...
Of course.
he's like,
Anyway.
We know where Half Pint is. And Gaspar.
Oh, where were they?
They're on a ship.
Waiting for you?
Long story, Half Pint has to hide from somebody for a week or two, and then they'll be back.
Specifically from her mother.
Oh, the screaming one.
Yeah.
On the orders of her father.
Well, what does that mean that you're all gonna do in the meantime, then?
It's
Was that
figuring
planned?
out.
I assume it wasn't planned.
No, it wasn't.
Based on your, faces.
Well, it complicates things a bit.
Are you just gonna wait here, then, for that long?
I don't know.
I think it would be a good idea to see if we can't find Matilda.
That's what I would like to do, yes.
Can you send a
I
message?
think you usually have to know unless you have an item that does it. I'm not sure. Vander said you might be able to do a sending, but I don't know how you do yours.
I don't really know how to answer that question because okay. I think I know what you're asking, Sonny. Are you asking, like, School of Magic kind of thing? Where I learned the spell?
It's okay, so you're using it as a spell. That probably won't work then.
I'm
not sure if it was a spell or an item or something.
No. Mine is an ability that is granted to me by my demigod. So I wouldn't call it a spell because it's more of a thought thing that I can just do. But I haven't met Matilda. If you could give me... You don't have a painting of her, do you? If you have something of hers, I can give it a shot.
Your occluder is hers, technically.
Oh, she's the one that made... Oh!
And everything I'm making, actually.
Well,
Is she a
take your
fashion
clothes off,
designer?
little lady.
She's a bard. Used to be a dancer.
Are you implying that bards sign clothing?
No, it's...
She's very good at
She's very
crafting.
good at magic and
Oh.
making things.
I can give it a shot. Typically, the way that I've used it is like the spell. Yes, I tend to have to know the person to it. But there was this one point when I was in a tight situation and I had to use an item that belonged to an individual. So I can give it a shot. What do you want me to tell her? Ask her where she is?
Where she is, if she's alright. Let her know that it's me asking.
All right, so... hi, Matilda, how are...
Are you alright? Are you safe?
Hey, Matilda, are you safe? Do I need to tell her who I am? Is she going to freak out about that?
That would probably be a good idea. Just let her know I'm the one asking for the
How about
message.
just on behalf of Sonny?
Yeah.
Let's just start there. I don't need your last name, right? Just Sonny?
No, she'll know me that.
Okay, so on behalf of Sonny, hope you're okay.
Are you safe?
Are you safe?
Where are
Details? Where are you?
Mhm.
Okay. So, I don't, and then she eventually looks in a pocket. Occluder, do you have anything that's not your clothing?
Stuff.
I mean, if you have a slip or part of it that you can just take off and give me, that'll help.
Give her the cloak.
The cloak?
Mhm.
Perfect. So yeah, she takes the cloak and just kind of swirls it around a couple times and drops it on the ground to make a mound and drops the barrel occluder on it and studies it for a moment and goes, okay. And you have no idea where she is right now.
I have some ideas what might be going on, but not where she is, no.
Is she on this plane?
She might not, to be honestly. I don't know.
I mean, it's just not going to go through then, but I'm just trying to, you know.
Yeah, there's a chance she's not, but I couldn't say for sure.
All right, well, it's worth a try. Give me just you still have the knapsack of my stuff, right? Can you grab my sword?
He'll go get it wherever it is. I don't.
Okay,
It's nearby.
It was just in that big bundle they took up off the ship of like I think he took a bed sheet and like grabbed all her armor and stuff like that. So you bring it out and it's kind of an ivory sheath with a lot of gold and silver work on it, and she pulls the gold hilted rapier out of it that has a weird kind of vibrating blade on it that has a bit of a white glow to it, and she just stabs it down next to the pile that she has made and puts a hand on it and goes, "This'll take a minute. It's not like a spell. It doesn't work as fast. So, minute or two?"
Okay.
All right. She just closes her eyes and kind of slumps just a little bit, but just stands there. And other than that, you don't see anything happening. So,
Hopefully this works.
you notice a couple guards in the distance are definitely watching, just out of curiosity.
Give them the thumbs up of like, all's okay.
Just like, So, minute goes by. No change. The silence is punctuated by just the high-pitched sonic whine coming off the rapier. Definitely seems like some kind of a weapon enchantment or something like that. Now I need to make some rolls. Around the 2-minute mark, there's not really a sound that accompanies it or anything like that. But Scalea suddenly rises up onto her tiptoes, opens her eyes. You were probably standing, like, where was everybody standing? Who would be in front of her is what I'm
Yeah.
looking for. You?
Sonny's not going anywhere. So
You'd be in
she's
front
right
of her, like eyesight at least. Probably to her side, probably to her side kind of thing. So she goes up onto her tiptoes, opens her eyes wide, makes eye contact with you, and the only word that gets out of her mouth is shit. And her eyes go bloodshot. Blood shoots out of her nose, out of her mouth, and she falls backwards, unconscious.
Give her 20 points for lay on hands.
Is someone catching the elf? Okay.
Of course.
Okay, so you grab
Not
her.
Sonny.
I'm catching her and giving her.
Okay. So yes, you can obviously give her some healing magic, but she slumps as you effortlessly catch her. The rapier clatters to the ground, and the sonic white wine kind of vanishes from it, and the guards in the distance all like bolt up like this, and they're like hesitating, like waiting for like, do you need us kind of thing.
Just magical bullshit. It's fine.
They all just kind of like stay ready but keep watching. Her face is a mess because she's bleeding from all her orifices on her face. It looks like Cass's healing stopped it, so now it's just smeared blood. Her eyes are half open and they are solid black.
What the heck? He's gonna try and help wipe off the blood and stuff.
It's fresh, so yeah, you can just use sleeve, hand, whatever, and it's gonna smear, but you can get all the blood off pretty easy.
That's what happened.
Sick, are you okay?
Nothing.
I don't know.
I am
This poor girl.
trying to use my divine sense to, detect good and evil if, she's suddenly possessed by a celestial fiend or undead.
That's fair. So, as you kind of tap into your divine sense, you see a decent sized glow from Scalea, and she has a bit of a celestial aura to her. Not that she's celestial, but there's probably some kind of an aura around her from her god. But beyond that, no, you don't pick up a fiend or undead or anything like that, but...
think this is just fey nonsense.
I don't think so. And Sonic's like getting a closer look because her eyes are solid black all the time.
Yep. Well, Sonny's eyes are solid black, but you've described Sonny's eyes as black, but like kind of having a star field in them.
When she's casting magic, yeah.
When she's casting magic. So otherwise, they're just solid inky black?
Yeah, just solid black shark eyes.
Okay, so Scalea's are currently solid black orbs. So yeah, otherwise her features are the same. It's her normal eyes, but they have just gone solid black with the blood dripping out of the corners.
Wave my hand in front of her eyes. Nothing.
Nope.
She alive still?
Nobody asked yet. I mean, we healed, but we didn't check for a pulse. She is breathing shallowly, but her heart's beating and she's alive. So she's just out right now.
Gotcha. Okay. I remember her telling. I don't figure. I remember her saying who her god was. What was the god's name again?
Distute. He's the demigod of Arlia and is the one that like you can see walking around the city and stuff. Yeah.
Her god is Distute. Maybe if we pray to him, he'll.
And Sonic's going to actually go get the guard and get an actual healer over here now that it's like, okay, something's gone very wrong.
Okay. So just walk over to one of them and explain that you need a healer? Okay.
She was casting a spell for us and something's gone very wrong with it.
All right. Do we need a mage or just a healer?
I honestly don't know. I've not seen this before.
I'll get someone. And he runs off to the keep.
Get her back into the room so she's not just on the sidewalk.
Yes.
And I assume you collect the cape and the occluder. Okay. So yeah, you can take her back into the room.
Make sure we're not leaving the sword there either.
Yes. I mean, you could. About 2 minutes later, the guard, breathless, comes back to the door with an older-looking woman that is wearing this kind of beautiful... It's like the guard's armor in the color of the city, but it's more of a very tightly wrapped robe, and she has rather large staff with her that looks like it's very old, kind of like an artifact almost. And she bustles into the room right after the exhausted guard kind of slams into the door frame and is like looking around to make sure like nobody else is bleeding or no other weirdness has happened. And she comes into the room and immediately beelines over to Scalea and just grabs her wrist, picks it up and like feels for a pulse and just kind of sets the staff against the wall and goes, "Can you tell me what happened?"
She was trying to cast a sending spell for me and...
Ascending spell?
Yes.
What happened?
It was taking a minute. She has a ritual she has to do first and trying to reach somebody that I knew.
All right, and...
Then she just kind of opened her eyes and said shit and then started bleeding out of everywhere.
All right, and she reaches down and like pops the eyelids open and looks in them and pushes her nose up and looks up and then opens her mouth a little bit and you cleaned most of the blood up, right?
Yes.
All right. She seems like she's breathing just fine, so her airway's not obstructed. If you can give me a moment to work, and she starts to lay hands and do a couple. You can see a couple brief sparks of some sort of magic as she looks her over and just kind of starts fussing over for her for a minute or two.
I can't get anything right today.
We could just blame this on Matilda.
Don't even suggest that. It's not.
May I try my hand at praying to Distute?
You can totally do that. Anybody can pray to anybody.
I would
So
like to try that. See if he has some insights into his magic.
yeah, so you can you'll need to do a roll for it obviously, but if you want to perhaps enhance the prayer, tell me what, even just a rough breakdown of what you would be praying or saying in the prayer.
Usually whenever he personally does like any prayer rituals or any sorts, just like on the regular, he'll sit somewhere and have incense and then kind of sit cross-legged in that on something like a cushion.
Okay.
And just have his hands together.
Okay.
And he would probably speak in his own head. He wouldn't actually do it out loud.
Yeah.
He would be like, gosh. Oh, great Distute. One of your... What is a good word? Is it the word I'm thinking of is vassal. Is that
Mm-hmm.
right?
That applies.
one of your vassals has used your magic and it's gone awry, do you have any wisdom that you could help save her or
Okay.
help her?
Okay, roll the dice. Give me a religion check.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Different dice.
it's okay.
You've gotten so many low rolls tonight.
No.
When just responds with like, "You have the wrong number."
Oh no.
So you sit there and you go through your motions and the incense and everything, and you do pray from the heart. And it's quiet afterwards. You've never really heard an answer to your prayers for the most part in your life. But a minute or two later after praying, as you can hear the healer still working in the background and low conversation from Sonny and Cass, you have the worst urge to sneeze that you've ever had in your life. And you begin sneezing violently for about 10 seconds. But you all will just, Banner's over in the corner looking very, spiritual. And out of nowhere, this furbolg starts to go, dispute. And then, big fit, very loud, the guard and that's been standing at the doorframe perks up, and the healer glances over. But after, a couple of the sneezes, it stops.
I think your incense are a little strong.
Yeah. Scratch his nose and stop the incense from burning. Put it all away.
Well, as far as I can tell, she's fine. There was a little bit of blood in her throat. I cleared that. There was still a little bit of damage, I think, with blown blood vessels in the eye and the head, and I've healed her up as much as I. Not that she really needed it. I think she's fine. I think your friend's fine. As for what backfired with her spell, I don't know, but I would say that it's kind of a classic. Not classic, but it's a spell backfired. Somehow. If you need to know more than that, you need a wizard or a mage or somebody that studies this kind of thing. But I've seen this, not the black eyes. That's the creepy part. But it looks like a spell rebounded. Something happened. She should come around at some point. She seems, her heart's beating strong. She's taking appropriate breaths. I don't see anything that's wrong with her from a physical sense now. There was, but now. So, this might be the limit of what I can do. I'm sorry.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure. Why I'm a healer, I just wish I could do more in cases like this. And she picks the staff back up.
Do you know anyone we could talk to about the magic?
I mean, anyone that's more trained in the arcane, but for spell rebounds, you're talking a professor of the arts or someone that has done this for their entire. I would just say a professor, somebody that teaches magic is going to get into the minutia of spells rebounding. It's not a topic that I hear a lot of people talk about typically, so I would recommend somebody that really knows their stuff. I'm sorry I can't be of more help directing you to someone.
Thank you.
Of course, if she changes or goes south all of a sudden or bleeds again or anything like that, please send for me and I'd be happy to help. And she kind of just shakes her head at Sick in befuddlement and turns and walks out, and the guard that has been watching the whole thing just kind of stands back up and goes, Kovita isn't back still from the council. They've been in an extended session all day. We will get her to you once she does. Do you want me to try and interrupt and get her? I considered it, but they just haven't been in closed session like this in a long time, so I wasn't going to pop that bubble until I needed to.
With the backfire makes me very concerned, and I think we may need to.
Get Kovita?
Yeah, just talk to her about what's going on.
All right. I mean, the kiddo shot blood out of her nose, so I think her eyes are still black, so I think Kovita's not going to be too pissed at you for this, so. And she's probably still riding the rum cake high from earlier, so.
He might just be happy to get out to council if she's been there all day.
I didn't even think about that. She probably would love to escape the bureaucracy. I'm going to go see if I can get her for you, so I'll be fast as I can. He turns around and you see him walk out, and he doesn't go towards the keep. He goes out of the keep into the city. So And otherwise, yeah, her eyes are closed, unless they're forcibly open, and she's just laying there, breathing on the bed. So, anything that you guys will do in the meantime.
Sonny's just like full on like face and hands like it's one thing go right today.
You regret this decision I've made.
Which one?
What? Suggesting we use her at some point.
Anyone who tried.
Yeah, like, who wouldn't guess this was the result of sending?
Yes. I'm not a caster.
I've never even heard of it.
All right. So just kind of keeping an eye on her then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sonny's just having a mild freak out.
Clean
Understandable.
the flower off.
Oh, that would be very nice. So while she's laying in bed, like, kind of just wipe her down and get the flour off her and her clothes and her hair and everything.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you.
Asking for help hurt this person. Don't know what happened to anybody, but I couldn't. Gods anymore.
Sonny,
Yes.
you are worrying yourself up into a storm. That is not going to help anything. You have done nothing wrong. We are doing what we can, which isn't much. It's frustrating.
You don't understand. The last few years, ever since I was initiated, I've always had my guts. Always been able to, kind of trust that I'm doing what I should be doing. Yes. I can't hear them, and I don't know why. Now everything's just going to shit. You just.
That part definitely be concerned about. Like that is big. But I do not think that is connected to Matilda doing what's going on with Sight. And
I think there might be a little bit. I don't know for sure.
Maybe it's your proximity to your gods.
I think Matilda's in danger, and I don't know if she did something because I said something, or me being around drew something's attention to her. But
Given what happened to Sif, I feel like she's in danger. But at least we know she's alive.
maybe we don't know what happens. We won't know until Sif wakes up, or we find somebody who knows something about these backfires if she does not.
I'm gonna talk to Randy
They're posted outside. The one that was with you for a while left, but the other ones are the ones that you have somewhat a familiar face at this point.
Okay, since we've been around for a while, what's your name?
Arandos.
Randos. Do you by chance know? Is there like a magical school or academy or anything here? Elementary school, war magic? I don't know.
I mean, they teach kids a lot of things, but you're talking about like an academy where they train mages.
Yes.
Not particularly. There's a few individual practitioners that I know people will seek out for schools, but for schooling, there's not an academy of mages here. The nearest one is probably Batel. And that's a small one, but it's an actual academy.
Do you know a name of an individual who just like does the tutoring here in town?
I mean, the main one that comes to mind is Matilda Ravino.
We need a different one.
Oh, not off the top of my head. Not really my field, sorry. It just...
That's fair. Okay.
Govita might know.
Okay. Alright. See, Kovita's gonna show up. We're gonna get questions. It'll all be fun.
And Son just nods and honestly looks like she's on the verge of tears at this point.
That's the nice thing about worshipping the glowing rock. Cannot disappoint.
Yeah. About 10 minutes later, you hear the dirt of the courtyard kind of crunch in the entryway as someone steps up to it. And you see the shadow of Kovita cast across the room. And she looks tired, very tired, but her face is one of concern and care. And she looks like she's a little out of breath. And she puts a hand on the doorframe and, like, glances at Sick and then makes eye contact with all of you. You couldn't last without me for a day? Are you all right?
We are, but
They said everyone was not everyone was breathing. You're okay?
We are. Sick isn't.
All right.
he's just
You sentences
from
saw
the
me.
start. I think Matilda might be in danger.
Why? Did she tell you something?
When was the last time you saw her?
When you saw us fighting doing the sparring a couple of days ago before you left.
She's not here.
Obviously.
No, she's not here. Her store's empty.
Empty?
Yes, there was nothing there.
Define nothing.
It was just the building. Everything else was gone. All her wares, her apartment above it, everything in their kitchen, everything was gone.
They'll sit around those. Yes, night watch. Take them, go. Look at it. You have the keys. You should have told me that sooner.
You were already gone when I got back.
Tell one of the guard. What do you mean? Like it was actually cleared out?
I don't know what happened.
Was it sacked? Were there broken windows, broken
No,
products?
The building was fine. Just everything was gone.
Gone.
All of it.
Like scrubbed out.
Yes, I could barely even feel all of her warding. There was an echo of it, an imprint. Like they had been burned out all at once, but I don't know if that means she ripped them down or something tripped them, or I don't know.
And she holds a finger up and steps outside and she goes, Riki, take that! And you can just hear her yelling to different individuals. And within a minute or two, there's a lot more activity in that keep. And she sends out probably about 30 people as far as you can tell from your little room. And her face is kind of getting a little splotchy red at this point. But she eventually gets everybody on their way and walks back in. It is very concerning, to say the least.
Yes, I don't know if she left or something came for her, but God, I think I know a little bit about what's going on.
Can you enlighten us at all
Yes.
in a way that I might be able to help?
In any point in your career, have you ever once heard the name Athet?
Not that I can think of. If it's supposed to ring a bell of like a villain or
I don't-
some figure.
I didn't think you would, but I thought it best to be sure. It's somebody from Matilda's past.
All right. That is back for blood for some reason.
She might be. I don't know exactly what's going on. Matilda's from a Fey court. She was an entertainer. It's...
None of this surprises me. She's never said it, but after the revelations of a couple of days ago, and she's always been a great performer, that makes sense.
That is the person who made her look like she does now.
Oh. Yeah, that was... I assumed they were dead at this point, or...
She told me a little of the story. This person just came and took over her court.
They took over a Fey court?
Yes.
That sounds like a tall order.
Matilda tried to do something about it, and she was made like that and exiled.
And I thought I knew the woman. All right. And you think Ethet is after her? Got her? Came here?
I don't know exactly what happens, but I get visions sometimes, yes? And I saw Ethet in one of them, and I'm pretty sure she saw me, and she could tell that I knew Matilda.
This is why I've never dabbled in magic.
before we left, I told her I wanted to make sure she knew and was warned that this woman was still around and had been saying things that made it sound like there were not many of her people left. And I don't know if Matilda just went off and did something, or if Effect did something because she could sense her now.
You have to forgive me because I'm playing with 5 pieces shy of a full dragon chess set at this point.
This is how I feel, yes.
Well, sure. I think I have a couple more missing pieces in the board than you, Sonny. Who is the elf? Vander said she's a friend that you ran into with the Haven Snouts. Is there a reason that she's lying there with black eyes because she's an agent of this person? Do you know her?
She tried to...
She could be one of the bad guys.
She tried to cast a sending spell for me.
And her eyes would block?
Yes, she had some kind of a reaction to it.
She's a diplomat of Arlia. Scalea. What's her last name?
No, don't tell her. She'd rather not.
Are you saying that in front of Kobita?
Yeah.
Kobita immediately locks eyes with you with a very disapproving face.
Sorry. She didn't want to.
Because she's a criminal?
No, because she's a diplomat.
She's a diplomat. Covered in, she's cleaned up a bit, but that's not... Someone give me more answers.
She helped us get out of the key.
That still doesn't validate who she is.
She's the right hand of Dispute.
This what?
Dispute? The demigod?
Excuse you.
She's a paladin. She's a paladin of Dispute. She's from Arlia.
I know Arlia. I don't know Dispute.
It's a demigod.
Okay.
And yeah, she's a diplomat, and we ran into her, and she knows Anomaly.
I'm sure if many people could claim to know that gnome. I mean, it's like a status symbol to say that you know one of the heroes of Arlia. She could be a grifter at this point, is what I'm trying to get at. She could be tied to this whole thing, pulling the wool over your eyes.
She's been helping us this entire time.
It's...
Just show her. It's already been...
Tilmermollen?
Am I showing you?
Is that
Like the
Psych's
armor
last
and
name?
sword and everything. Oh.
Psych's last name?
Yes.
Yeah. Scalea Tilmermollen. Does that name ring a bell?
Tillermallen, to a certain extent does, but not specifically. It feels like I should know something about the family name, but I
No,
don't...
she's legit. She checks out.
You vetted her.
Yes.
You have a list of all the diplomats. Yes.
Yes.
I'm just saying, she's a errant piece on the board to beat the dragon chess analogy to death. I know you all, to an extent. I have witnessed what you have done for the city with my own 2 eyes. And now you bring a stranger here. And she seems to have brought bad tidings with her. If I'm chasing the wrong lead, please forgive me. I'm just trying to help you and figure out what is going on, especially if Matilda is in danger too, or a Shire could be in danger as well.
She attempted to reach out to Matilda, and that's what happened.
I wasn't sure if...
It was just a sending spell.
That's all it was. I wasn't sure if Matilda was gone of her own volition or not. And I know she can just take her things and leave if she needed to. She told me as much with her wards, so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't really a problem before I scared you.
I mean, I appreciate it. I could have used getting out of that meeting far sooner, though, so next time, call me earlier. Hopefully there's not a next time, though. I have my captains doing a sweep of not only Matilda's in the nearby buildings and the streets, but they're checking the keep, too, just to make sure if there's anyone sulking around here that shouldn't be, because I have never seen nor heard of this sort of reaction, but then again, I do not practice magic because of this sort of thing, so...
She seemed very surprised by it before she started bleeding from everywhere.
Most people do. Most spellcasters or religious folk do before they are immolated. or that. So,
Is there anyone besides Matilda who teaches magic in this town?
well, there's plenty of them.
Could we get a referral?
I'm not sending you anywhere. There's one that I would probably trust that wouldn't ask too many questions. I could send for them. I would not want you to leave my sight for the moment, but you want to bring in a consultant?
Yes. Because we have a healer and she was like, she's stable. But we'd like to know what's going on. She's not possessed by anything that I can detect. But, we'd like to know.
All right. Yes, there's an individual by the name of Satari, and I trust her a decent amount. She's one of the more well-known instructors in town, and she is highly sought after, and she's a tiefling. I'll send for her. And she leans out the door and talks to one of the mini guards that are now nearby, and they run off. One of them does. And we'll see how fast we can rouse her and drag her from her house here, because this is unacceptable.
I'm worried that whatever did this to her has Matilda.
Whatever caused the damage to the elf
Yeah.
has
It
Matilda?
could be a threat.
Or maybe it's a side effect of one of Matilda's warded. She's just very well warded.
The black eyes. I saw eyes like that in my vision, so
When I'm looking at Sick,
Mhm.
do I sense fey magic?
Good question. You do. So you have to focus on it. And it's not like you should beat yourself up as you realize this, as Vander realizes this, as it's faint. So you have to kind of be sitting there in a moment of silence and just really studying her. And then you're like, wait, I do see that. I do feel it. It's not Matilda's. It's not yours. It's as generic as Fae get, which really isn't, because it's usually very distinct to the Fae. But you just get a warble of it, a whiff of it from her eyes. Like her eyes to you, now that you're paying close attention, they're black, but they got a little neon outline almost of just really tiny vibrations, and it's some Fae magic.
When I look at her sword, is it also fey magic?
Nope. Her sword looks like the first time that you saw it, and it seems like the sonic enchant only activates when she grabs it, and so you don't pick up anything, but you see there's something Fae going on with her eyes, and it's definitely magic that you can interact with.
Interact with how?
Well, the same way as sorry. So what I mean is when you saw it around Matilda, and Matilda was talking about, yeah, let's grab someone's hand and, let's, teleport together and stuff like that. It just means it's familiar to you,
Gotcha.
kind of thing. And you understand it in a way that you don't understand the arcane. So.
It's definitely not Matilda or non-magic, but there is some remnants of fey.
that.
Maybe. I
think she was stealing their power.
That is scary.
You think that was stealing the power of the Fae?
That's why I imagine she was at the court, and if there are not many Fae left.
They hurt my head, and not much actually hurts my head, but that whole world, no offense.
Oh no, I
just,
totally understand.
it's hard to wrap your head around. If it's Fae, and you saw it, can you do something? You can't help her? I am ignorant
No, it's okay.
in this.
I don't know what I could do. I'm not very well versed, other than being able to see it and sort of touch it. Makes sense.
I have a feeling. Should I?
What is it?
Did you try touching it? This feels against everything I have told you all, and I feel bad saying it, but did you try touching it?
I fear that if I reach...
Don't lick it like the other one did.
No,
We don't look guys.
I don't know.
Okay.
Eyes.
Yes, don't do that.
I fear that if I do reach out, I'll cause something worse.
No, no. If you think there's a yes, it could like hurt you.
I'm worried about hurting her.
Oh, maybe, but no, I don't want either of you hurt. Just thinking of solutions or possibilities of doing something for her. So, well, Satari will hopefully be here soon. We should hear back from the Emporium soon. My guards will turn it over to see what they can find. It seems like it's another night of many questions for us, though.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good on her.
Okay.
So for 10 minutes. So let's see. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch, I'm assuming she's willing, is protected against certain types of creatures: aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
It specifically says, right?
Yes.
Yep, I love that spell.
Oh, I forgot
Protection
the
grants
thing.
several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throws against the relevant effect.
Interesting. If you do that, I think Vander would be willing to try
Try what?
reaching out to the magic.
Oh, okay. So, are you going to announce that you're doing this, or are you just going to do it, like, subtly?
No, I'm gonna be like, hey, I think I can do this, and maybe it'll help, and it can like push it away, or at least not make anything worse.
All right.
So,
What were you thinking?
I know a little more about magic than you do. Even if you know more about the Fae, we could probably figure something out together, but this is a good idea too.
pull out some powdered silver and some iron, and cast my spell.
Okay. So, you pull out the reagents, you cast the spell, the silver kind of dissolves in the air, and there's just the kind of faint shimmer of it in the air for a few moments. And everybody waits with bated breath. And after like a couple seconds, Six head snaps back just a little bit more, her muscles strain, and you see the black in her eyes almost bubble up, be evaporated like back. Her pupils are still ripped back, but the black slowly gets like burned away from them. And the second that the last speck leaves her eyes, she lets out a very ragged gasp and suddenly is back in control of her body and just like slides up the bed and up against Vander, because I assume that you're sitting there next to her, and she just like slams up against you. Get rid of the orb. I know that orb is doing something. Get rid of it.
It's in the other room.
Get rid of it.
All right.
The orb isn't good, and it...
What's going on? Are you okay?
I don't know. Am I?
I'm glad that worked. That was awesome.
Yeah. So
What-
do you want to go check that orb into the ocean?
Break it, break it, break it, break it.
What is that orb?
It's, I don't know, it's an artifact, and it is skewing everything, and there's a couple things going on, but it's not, just break the fucking thing.
Bring it here. I have an axe.
Let's do it.
Nullify it if you have a nullification.
I'm just gonna go hit it with my axe.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So just gonna go over there and drop it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong. So I need to roll an attack roll.
No, not for something like that. So you can take it over there and take out the multicolored orb and just kind of crack it with the axe. It doesn't take much effort to crack it, and once it cracks, it kind of falls apart like a hard-shelled dry candy almost, and it just like glitter and shards of glass just kind of crumble from the inside, and the light like intensifies for a moment, then just goes out.
I'm gonna take the bag that it was all in and like use that to like scoop it all back up and take it out to the end of the dock and throw it.
Yep, just toss it in the water. So the second that the crack happens from the nearby room, she shudders again and she goes, "That's better."
What happened?
I triggered a trap, and it was a bad one. Did I die? Did you have to resurrect me?
No, you were just there was something on your eyes that was fey magic.
All right. I cast the sending. There was a wall of black smoke, which is weird because the spell doesn't involve visualization. And the smoke started choking me, and I couldn't get out, and I couldn't open my eyes, and it was burning. And then there was just a pair of eyes, yellow eyes, looking at me from the dark, and I felt so much pain. And then I saw that.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It didn't mean it. It's just pain. It passes. It passes. Then I saw that orb. And even when I cast the spell, I was aware of the orb in the other room. And the taste that it left in my mouth was acidic and tart, and it was messing with the magic in a way that I know is not good. But that, two things. The orb did something, but there was a trap. I think whoever tried to reach out to her next, or maybe even from now on or whatever, there's a trap. And it tried to kill me, and it almost did. Honestly, the orb might have saved my life in a weird way, because I should be dead right now.
You were bleeding from all orifices. It was not pleasant.
All orifices?
Your face.
Yeah.
I didn't explain the taste. I did a good job of getting rid of it. Yeah, I've never... Are you all familiar with the spell Powered Kill? Most people just die when they're hit by it. It's a very complicated spell. Not many people know it. They know of it. Your agents are expensive, and etc. And it's just it's a horrific spell. But if it's cast, most people probably can't withstand the forces from it and die instantaneously. I've had it cast on me before. I had Death Ward on, thankfully. Even with a spell specifically designed to counter it, it was a horrific feeling that I did not want to repeat. And thankfully I haven't in a long time. That felt a lot like a powered word kill spell. Or something. But it was laying in wait for whoever was going to reach out to Matilda, I think.
The question is, did Matilda set this trap?
No, she wouldn't have.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know her. The orb, though. The orb is the weird thing that is going on in this. I don't know if the orb is what saved my life. I don't know if the orb made me... I don't know. This is outside of my realm of magic. But, God.
Banner's gonna squeeze her.
She, like, reaches up, puts a hand over his neck, and it's like, oh, thank you. And just, like, sits in the embrace. And you can tell she is wiped. Like, wiped out. And, again, you were reminded how incredibly small she is in this moment. And she feels very small and insignificant and just weak in the moment. So, something, and it's not even just, it's not a physical thing, it's an aura thing, too. Like, you can tell she's just drained of whatever innate magic she has or has access to. And around that time, you hear another shuffling outside in the yard, and two people walk up to the door. One very tall, about 6.5 foot tall human that has very short cut, like buzzed hair, looks like he's middle-aged or something like that, wearing an opulent robe in the colors of the city. And next to him, a tiefling who looks like she just came from a long series of adventures on a coast. Her clothes are a little ragged, but they're mostly sprayed with salt water. There's some buckles that are rusted, and she just looks like your average person that you might have seen in Vinzor, like on the cliffs. And they both walk up together and look in the room. And Kovita turns around, who's been kind of watching all this, and goes, oh. She looks at the tiefling first and goes, oh, they were able to wake you, Satari. Thank you for coming. Miss Gloria, why are you here? And she looks at the tall man. And he doesn't say anything. He just kind of like looks at her pointedly and looks at Sick and then looks back to her. Everyone, I'd like you to meet one of the counselors of Orashire and Nithagora. And he just kind of nods slowly. I've heard how serious these matters are that you did not tell us about. I just found out about them, regardless. We wanted a set of council eyes on this, so.
Hi.
Hello. And I think that's where we'll leave it for the week. So many people crammed in this one room. So many damn NPCs, sadly. Darn it. So we will leave for the week with that scene of the quickly filling up diplomatic quarters, the one room of the diplomatic quarters, with Sick kind of curled up against Vander, Kovita wanting to pull her silvery hair out, the counselor of Orashire now present, and the tiefling professor of the arcane that hopefully might be able to provide some more insight into some of the things that went on here tonight. So, hopefully everybody out there will be able to join us again next week, 7 p.m. PST, for the next episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, where we'll pick up this story. If you found us for the first time tonight, welcome! Hope you enjoyed the show, or if you're watching this on YouTube, hope you enjoyed it, and you can catch us for one of our live shows on Twitch, where you can interact with us in chat. But regardless of where you found us, please join our Discord. Take a look at our other socials, but I really want you on Discord because you get to talk to the cast and crew and kind of join the awesome community that Mythical Family is building there, because we're much more things than just D&D, and we're all about creating inclusive spaces for gamers of all types. So if that sounds like your jam, come join us, and you can also come talk about Prismatic Dragonfly. But we'll be back next week on the 11th. We'll be back again the next week on the 18th, and then we're taking a week off for Christmas. So hope to see you the next 2 weekends so we can keep chasing this story down. And if you're somebody that's been around here for a while, thank you again for hanging out and participating in this story with us. So, all right, I think that's all my announcements and things that I got to go over. So in the meantime, have a good Sunday night and have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.